get some talk stuff going on here. Add marker now. Man, Delta Species is such a wild set here. Everything looks so different. So many colors on this one that aren't on Pokemon normally. Yeah, no, this set is kind of wild, and it's one of those that, like, functionally changes a lot here. We went over this a fair bit during the actual opening of the packs here, but as the main thing, Science did a bad. They changed a lot of types of Pokemon by mistake because they were trying to find Mew. Mew is not in this set, so clearly they weren't successful on the first run here. But functionally, this is mostly added metal. Oh, there's a thing under there. That's why. It's mostly added metal, but some of these Pokemon have changed types entirely. For example, Dragonite is Lightning type, which is kind of weird. So is Metagross. Mewtwo is a Fire type. Salamence is a Fire type, but they keep their original weakness and resistance profile. So, like, these are Fire types that are weak to colorless, or, you know, dragons basically, but they're different from colorless type, like they normally would be. But they have their resistances. So you have, like, a Lightning type for Rayquaza that is resistant to fighting, and that's really kind of cool. What this means is that it's a bit harder to play around all of the weakness resistant stuff in this set, because not everything. I mean, this is going to get more prominent as we get the other Holon sets, but, you know, you can't exactly just go, oh, lightning types, you can always throw fire fighting at them now, because Metagross is not weak to it, and Dragonite is resistant to it, so is, like, Latios. Like, they resist fighting. So, it's not quite as easy to counter certain types as it is, even nowadays. So, you know, kind of worth noting. Anyway, as far as the actual Pokemon go here, we do have a lot of cool ones. Beedrill isn't necessarily one of them. Its attack is kind of strong. One of the issues with a lot of these Pokemon, though, is they do have metal in their attack costs as well. This is mitigated a little bit by the Stadium card Holon Research Tower, which treats your basic energy on Delta Pokemon as metal energy as well as their normal type. So you can read this attack as 2 grass and a colorless energy if you have the tower out. Obviously, if you have the metal energy in play, you will be able to do tanking with this thing too, because it is a metal type. But it does make it a little bit more awkward to pay these costs a little bit here. Anyway, free energy and 80 damage if the opponent is evolved, 50 if they're a basic. If they're a basic though and they're an evolving Pokemon, 50 is going to KO pretty much all of them anyway. So you can KO most evolving basics and KO a lot of the, like, stage 1s and stuff too. Most of them do have 80 HP. So that's a pretty strong attack. But it's a little bit hard to charge up, and it's somewhat frail for a stage 2. Like, 90 HP is not a lot, right? So it's a bit tough there. Final Sting is also kind of bad. Like, yeah, you get to paralyze and double poison the opponent, but they also take a price because you have to KO Beedrill. So not really too convinced on that. Crobat over here, for some reason it has buttons attached to it. Don't know what's up with that, but it's fine. Psy has this one. Radar Jam is extremely annoying here. 30 for 2 and the opponent can't play trainer cards next turn. Painful ability, to say the least, on that attack here. But it is on a stage 2, and again 90 HP, so a little bit frail here. These two both have 0 retreat though, which is really good. And target attack is very nice too. Choose one of the opponent's Pokemon, do 40 damage to it, so 40 anywhere on their board. Bit expensive to charge up. However, if they have damage counters on them already, you do 60 instead of 40. So this actually becomes really good with the EX Crobat that I traded to Psy in order to snipe down, like, put a damage counter on one of their Pokemon and then snipe it for 60. Excellent stuff there. Dragonite is a really, really cool Pokemon. This has Blaziken's ability from Ruby Sapphire base, except now it's for lightning types. So once during your turn before you attack, you can attach a lightning from your discard to one of your bench Pokemon. So obviously very strong there, good acceleration. It stacks if you get more of it. And its attacks are fine. Agility is annoying if nothing else, and heavy impact, yeah, it's a bit expensive, 70 for 4, but it's a guaranteed 70, and at least you can accelerate to this thing, so it's not the worst. The evolutions have a couple of ability-based ones. We'll go over them first. Espeon, like, neither of these two are really good for their attack, so it's mostly the ability. Espeon lets you remove a damage counter from each of your Delta species Pokemon once per turn, whereas Umbreon puts a damage counter on the opponent's Pokemon if they attach a special energy card from their hand to that Pokemon. So a little bit of extra chip going on here. Both of them have got like a 30 damage attack, it's kind of whatever. Kind of more importantly on the damage threshold is the other EVs here. The Flareon, the Jolteon, and the Vaporeon. They all have the same structure. They're all 70 HP, they all have Delta Search for 10 damage and the colorless. Search your deck for a Hold-On energy card, attach them to that Pokemon. And then for their own type, plus metal, plus colorless, they do 50. Bounce an energy if you choose to, back into the hand, and do a bonus effect. Vaporeon bounces an energy from the opponent's active to hand, so kind of okay if you can bounce like a Hold-On energy, we'll get to them in a sec. Flareon burns, so you might do 70, you might just still do 50 though. And Jolteon is by far the best one because it snipes 20 to one of the opponent's bench Pokemon, so a guaranteed 70 just spread among two guys. Jolteon also resists metal, so it's really good against most of the stuff from this set, which is kind of neat. So there is that. Gardevoir, Energy Jump is kind of nice, move any energy card from one of your Pokemon to another once per turn. Psychic Rage is kind of good if you've tanked a hit with this thing, because you snipe 10 for every damage counter that's on Gardevoir to one of the opponent's Pokemon. And Black Magic is just a decent amount of damage to do. It is a little expensive compared to the Dark Hypno that did this attack, but at least it has a 10 base on it as well, so it changes the numbers a bit. Strength Charm can really manipulate stuff there, it's pretty good. Latias and Latios, if you have the opposite color in play, will let you use their second attack for free energy instead of 5, which is really good because on a basic, 80 damage for free energy is amazing, but they do have stipulations on them. If the opponent doesn't have a stage 2 evolved Pokemon in play, Latios doesn't do anything. If the opponent doesn't have an EX in play, Latias doesn't do anything. So you've got to balance that a little bit here. But against the right decks, these are just efficient, basic Pokemon that you can swing in with, so really good. Delta Marowak, it's an anti-Delta for the moment. Metal Crusher does 90 if the opponent is a Metal Pokemon for free energy, it's pretty good. Energy Bonus also kind of nice, it works well with the sniping of the Fire Red Leaf Green Marowak in my testing, so you can choose Pokemon up to the number of energy that's on Marowak, do 20 to each of them, so you can spread quite a lot of damage around with that, which is pretty good. Metagross pairs with the Dragonite very well. Delta Control gives the deck consistency. Look at the top 4 cards of the deck, put one of them into hand, put the other 3 to the bottom of the deck. Crush and Burn is the same attack that Electrode EX had, but you also have Energy Acceleration with Dragonite, which is really good. You can discard Lightning from the bench in order to not have to discard off the Metagross, so you can keep whatever energy you need to in play, which is really nice. So, very strong. Mewtwo over here, when you bench it, lets you switch any of your basic energy around to non-Mewtwo Pokemon as you like. It has that stipulation because its own attack does more damage for the energy that's on Mewtwo and the opposing Pokemon, so if it could move to itself, it would be able to do like 80 in, like 80, 90, maybe even more in one just bench it, which would be disgusting, so obviously they don't allow that. Rayquaza relies on the Hold-On energies, we will get to them later on, but if you don't have a Hold-On energy on you, Lightning Storm, it's the same damage as Dragonite, but it would put 7 damage counters on yourself as well, which is obviously very bad for a Pokemon that's put 4 energy on itself. However, if you do have a Hold-On energy on this thing, 70 for 4 on a basic 90 HP Pokemon is very, very strong, so cool card. Salamence, the main one we're going to be playing today, just as a heads up. 2 very good attacks on this thing. Fire Dance lets you search your discard for a fire energy, attach it to any one of your Pokemon. 30 for 2, just a really good efficient attack. Then Delta Blast is the finishing blow here. 100 for 4, but you have to discard a metal energy specifically on this thing. This is where the Research Tower comes in though, because you don't have to discard a special metal if you have the Research Tower letting you discard a basic energy instead. So very, very cool. Starmie over here, mostly notable for metal navigation, lets you search your deck for a metal energy and attach it to the Starmie, so it's kind of like Dark Electrode but for metal energy, which is kind of nice. Good with a Gardevoir, so you can jump it wherever you need to. And then the last one, nobody got this one, but Tyranitar is the same as Walrein, where you look at the top card of your deck, and if it's a basic energy, attach it to one of your Pokemon. Delta Crush is very underpowered for the free energy do 50, right? You've got to discard an energy just to do 70. Like I said, the Beedrill wasn't amazing with this attack cost, Tyranitar just doesn't cut it. It does have a little bit of support though, because the Holon Pokemon over here, they can be attached as rainbow energies, and unlike Double Rainbow, which these are sort of emulating, these can attach to anything. The problem is that to attach them, you have to bounce an energy from your Pokemon to the hand first, which can be very good if you're playing the right kind of energy, but means that they're not splashable immediately. You do have to have a previously attached board before you can go into these. Other Pokemon are the highlights here. I think Mightyena is decent. Metal colorless, 10 damage for each dark and metal Pokemon you have in play. It is dark and metal itself, so it takes advantage of the both effects of the special energies. So you could do 70 for 2 if you put a dark on this thing. Pretty efficient, just gotta flood your board. Porygon 2, gonna be playing this today as well. This lets you draw until you have 6 cards in hand, once per turn, per Porygon. Very, very powerful. Machine Burst is kind of whatever. Maybe you could do this with Ancient Technical Machines or something, or God forbid, Multi-Technical Machine 1. That was in the Pop series, so you could do that. Honestly, not a very good attack, but we don't care about that bit. We care about the fact that this guy lets you do a bunch of damage for not a lot, not a bunch of damage, it draws a bunch of cards. It's like, you don't play Bibarel nowadays for its attack, so, you know. Otherwise, this Weezing is kind of neat with the other one. It is a good spread move thing. 1 energy, the 10 damage spread, we've seen this on a lot of Pokemon, but what makes it good here is that Body Odor is a thing, where you can, that's a weird thing to say, but you know, it's the ability of the card. If it's the active Pokemon, you put a damage counter on each of the opponent's Pokemon that has Pokebodies on them in between turns, which is really nice. Most of the Ditto stuff in here isn't very good, but the Mr. Mime one is kind of worth noting if I ever try and play like a Energy Accelerant Holon energy deck, because this, just like the Pseudo Widow, lets you copy one of the opponent's active Pokemon's attacks. You just have to be able to pay for that attack, which Holon energy Pokemon can do, so that's kind of nice. Otherwise, in a different format this Persian would have seen play, because I know we've seen this with Roserade before in Gen 5, that saw play a little bit. When you evolve into this thing, search your deck for any card. It's colorless and it competes with Pidgeot, so it's not really worth it right now. Skarmory is kind of interesting for these Delta decks because they do run Metal Evolutions. If it's the only Pokemon you have in play, the opponent can't attack with basic Pokemon. So that means they can't do their setup attacks at the start of the game, and Cry for Help lets you search for a metal Pokemon. Doesn't have to be a basic, just so long as it's not an EX. So you can use this to search for your top stage evolution, because these are all metal type, and then use Swoop Teleports in the next turn to switch to Skarmory with the Pokemon that evolves into what you searched, and go from there, which is pretty good. Otherwise, there's a Delta Eevee that lets you get Metal Energy from the discard. Pretty good if you are playing these ones, but we won't be. This one's better for the Evolution EXs we'll talk about later on, because it's got Call for Family, and also is cuter, so you know, that counts for a lot. Holon's Magnemite and Voltorb are worth noting, because if you can pull them out of the deck, then you can attach them as a colorless energy. So this is Pokemon Search that you can use to do energy stuff, which is kind of neat. And the way you do that is with some of the stuff down here. We do have Great Ball, we'll put it on the bench, but we do have Dual Ball back, so you could use that if you want to. But we also have search stuff down here. So one of the key things in Delta Species is the Holon engine, where Holon Transceiver lets you search your deck or your discard pile for a supporter card that has Holon in its name, which all of these over here do. The Holon supporters are a little bit underpowered compared to average supporters, for the most part, we'll get there, because they all require you to discard a card when you play them, and they don't necessarily have the strongest effects out there, but the fact that they're searchable and recoverable makes them, like on one card, makes them actually very viable. So we'll go over all the ones here. There is one more to come out at the end of this era, but that's not for 2 sets, so we'll go over what we have. Holon Farmer, I actually expect to see this in play for quite a lot of decks, to be honest. You search your discard for 3 basic energy and any 3 Pokemon cards and put them back into deck. So this is Energy Recycle System and Pokemon Retriever. Slightly better Town Volunteers most of the time, or like half the time. Depends how many basic energy you're playing, but this is still really good. Holon Lass, for the right kind of deck, is ridiculous. Count the total number of prize cards left, look at that many cards on top of the deck, choose as many energy as you like from there, show them to the opponent, put them into hand. So at the start of the game, this is just look at the top 12 cards of your deck and maybe take 4 to 6 energy cards. If you're playing something like Blastoise or Bomb Tower, this would be a really, really good early game supporter to pull. So super good there. Mentor is just amazing standalone. I would expect to see this played by everybody who has it, at least a lot of the time. Search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon that each have 100 or less HP. This can include EXs if you put the right ones in. So very, very good card. And this is your early game search. This can let you use the Holon's Magnemite and Voltorb, so you can search for 2 Pokemon you need plus 1 energy card, basically. Super good stuff. And then Researcher lets you search for either a Delta species Pokemon or a Metal Energy and put it into hand. The second one, like the Metal Energy search, is actually very hard to do normally. Searching Special Energy is pretty difficult, like as a whole, because Special Energy is so powerful. So this card is definitely very cool and is worth it if you are playing the right sort of thing in the Holon engine. Finally, the Scientist, which lets you draw until you have the same number of cards that the opponent has in their hand. Not the best one, but it's draw power, and it's searchable draw power, so it's still going to be playable regardless. As far as the other stuff goes here, we do get Master Ball reprinted. Super Scoop Up's going to still be in format, so there is that. The only other trainer card is Holon Ruins. Each player that has a Delta species Pokemon in play can draw a card and then discard a card from their hand. It's draw power that is not on a supporter, but it's also discard power that is not on a supporter, and that is something we don't see like at all in this era. So this is a cool card. We might see this played today. Oh, we might see it if I actually draw it, you know. Otherwise, there are a few other Pokemon that are worth noting. I think all of these star cards are actually in play here. They all have the critical collection attack for one of their type of energy, which accelerates from the discard their type of energy based on how many Pokemon prizes the opponent has taken. So your opponent's down at 3 prizes left. You can search your discard for 3 energy and put them onto the Pokemon. Kind of good for the Metagross because that's Metal Energy, which tanks at that point, so neat. Their second attacks is where you really need them to be good, and honestly I'm not super sure. Groudon could potentially be decent. Discard an energy, fighting energy on it to do 80 for 5 is expensive, but if you're using the first attack to accelerate to it, that's not too bad. Kyogre is 60 for that cost, and the opponent might not be able to attack next turn, but if you KO them, that effect does nothing, so whatever. Same with the Metagross here, it only does 50, which is miserable for that cost, but it's Metal Energy, so maybe you can defend with it a fair bit, and if you flip heads, you discard an energy on the opponent. Again, KOing them doesn't matter, so I think the Groudon is the best one overall. Finally, Pokemon-wise, we have the Evolutions. I am the Eevee King this round. I have picked up like all of these to some extent. They have coming into play powers where if you evolve them from hand, you can, in Flareon's case, do Burn Confuse. In Jolteon's case, spread a damage counter on each of the opponent's Pokemon. In Vaporeon's case, force the opponent to shuffle draw up to 4 cards in their hand. Very, very strong when you consider that Umbreon from the previous set has got Gusting, and Espeon from the previous set has got Devolution on one of their bench Pokemon. Super good effects here. This deck has got a ridiculous skill ceiling, and we will see it, but not today, because I'm not confident in it yet. Their attacks are also kind of neat. They've got a 2 energy attack, which is usually 30 damage. Jolteon has got Meditate basically for its second attack, just a different name on it. So this can actually hit really good numbers and score some good knockouts in combination with its first effect. And Vaporeon does more damage for the energy, so it's kind of neat. 2 energy, 140 on a 120 HP Pokemon, it's kind of nice. But it pays for it in its second attack. They all have a free energy one which does 60 or 70. The 70 ones have a cost to them, so Jolteon discards an energy. Flareon does 10 to itself. Okay. Finally, final card in here is the Holon Energy stuff. These provide a colorless energy, but if they're attached to a non-EX Pokemon that has one of 2 particular basic energy types on them, does a bonus effect as well. So for the fire fighting one, if you have a fire energy on, you have no weakness. If you have a fighting energy on, you have ignored resistance, which is pretty good. So this is really nice for your fighting type decks because they frequently get hit by resistance by all of these stupid dragon types. So very good there. Grass Lightning is the best tanking one. If you have a basic grass on, you don't get affected by special conditions. You can heal from special conditions with this as well, which is kind of cool. And if you have basic lightning on here, then you can reduce damage that the Pokemon takes from EXs by 10. This stacks just like Mental Energy. So really, really good stuff there. And then Water Psychic is also very nice. If you have a basic water attached, it's got a Shield Dust base effect where you can only take damage from attacks. If you have a basic Psychic attached, you have 0 retreat cost, which is also extremely cool. So too bad I didn't pull it, because I probably would have played it in today's deck, to be honest. So what are we going to play today? Well, I have a couple of options I'm not going to play. One I am not fully confident in yet, but I think this deck is pretty close. I think it just needs stadium cards from next set. The Evolutions deck is ridiculous. It's just so much you can do with it. Very hard to predict, but it's also very hard to play, and I think I need a little bit more practice with it, unfortunately. So we're not playing it just yet. The other one I almost played was Marowak with EVs. So, like, not the EXs, the Delta ones. Yeah, the Gold Stars would have been great. I didn't pull a Gold Star, unfortunately. I have yet to pull one, but that's okay, because the best ones are still to come. So, yeah, this deck I almost took, because it's got 2 very good modes to it. You linear attack or Energy Bone at the start of the game, and you're building up to do gigantic Vengeance KOs, right? So there's a lot of super cool stuff you can do here. The EVs, with Energy Evolution, you can attach a Metal Energy and just evolve into either Jolteon or Flareon. So you can do some very good aggression early game with these as well. Jolteon feeds the spread attack thing too. And yeah, it's a pretty powerful deck overall, but I want to play Salamence. That's pretty much all it comes down to. This deck does synergize extremely well with Energy Root as well, because all of your attackers do not have abilities, so this becomes like 100 HP, and the EVs become 90. So lots of really good stuff this deck can do. But today we're going to the Gen 3 OU routes. We're going with Salamence Metagross. This is the deck I've been kind of trying to get all week, and I think it's going to be good enough here. It's a fascinating one, to say the least. You might wonder why Pidgeot's not being played in here. It's mostly because I didn't want 3 Stage 2s, and we have another one that I want to experiment with, so there is going to be that. So, first off, the one Magnemite, because we do have the Hold-On engine in here. I've got 3 Transceiver, 2 that I pulled, 1 that I traded for, and we've got Mentor, so we can get to our basics very readily. So having a searchable energy is pretty strong here. We are getting some lag because Leo's low and stuff. That's fine. We've got the 2-2 Porygon. I've managed to get the second copy of the Data Retrieval Porygon here, so I think this is the best one. Can be pretty good early game draw, so there's that. The Salamence, I mentioned already, this is mostly why I want to play it, because it's got good damage output, and this plus the Metagross, it makes it very easy to keep energy in play. And I think that's going to be a pretty good benefit this round. So there is that. I've taken out one of the Jirachi. I was playing 2, but I think it's fine. I can search for stuff with Mentor, and I could just get it that way. Plus, this Jirachi is still just the best overall setup card that we could want, so there is that. 3 Transceiver because I only have 3. 3 Red Candy because I'm still playing a decent number of the basic stuff here, or the stage 1 lines. Speaking of which, this Metang is in here because I didn't want the entire line to be weak to Psychic. That's basically it. Also, it is a Delta Pokemon, which I can search with my 1 copy of Researcher. So, in a pinch, that might actually come up. It's going to come up more than any of the Metang's abilities and whatnot. So, and Leo got DC. Rip. We got the 1 Warp Point. I did have a Warp Point and a Switch in here, but I have taken it out for Solid Rage, because 100 damage is good, but 120 damage is a lot better. If we are behind on prizes, we can use this to have Delta Blast hit ungodly numbers. So that is the play here. Other supporters, we've got the 2 Celio, the 1 Farmer, 3 Mentor, Researcher, 2 Scientists. This is a pretty standard Hold-On engine right now. We don't have Adventurer yet. That would slot in instead of probably the TV Reporter, and that would be our complete engine. But this is still pretty good. And then otherwise, the one thing with the Hold-On engine is it doesn't draw very well. So, like in terms of the number of cards it can draw. which maybe you could argue Porygon is a mitigator for, but we need to be able to find a Porygon, so, you know. Sometimes you just need more draw. So we've got 2 admin, 2 Steven's advice, and a TV reporter for that as well. Stadium-wise, initially was playing the 4-4 Research Tower, but I think it's better to play a split here, because the rules have changed so that we are no longer able to play Stadium cards with the same name as one that's in play. You can see it on the card as well. If another card with the same name is in play, you can't play this card. This is a change that has come in from this set, and so given that I can accelerate Metal Energy from the discard with Metagross, I kind of don't think this version of Salamence actually needs 4 copies of the tower, so we're going to try a split of each of these and see how it goes. Mentioned the Solid Rage already. If you are behind on prizes, it does plus 20 damage, no more needs to be said. Energy wise, it's a bit of a mishmash. I am currently only playing the 1 Scramble Energy because I don't generally need it, but it can be good burst potential if I have to. 4 Metal Energy, of course, 2 Psychic. This is how we attack with the Metagross. Metagross can also accelerate Psychic from the discard, so you don't need to play very many of these for the only 2 Metagross that we have, which is fine. 6 Fire, and the 1 Holon Fighting Fire, because this gives Salamence no weakness. That's pretty much it. Like, this is the main reason to even consider the card, is because we don't have the Fighting Energy in this deck, so we don't ignore Resistance. But also Fire is not a type that we need to have Resistance play out very much. Metal kind of is, but then we've got Metagross that can do that, and this still hits 70 even through Resistance, so I think we're fine on that front. But Porygon 2 is kind of annoying, Pidgeot is kind of annoying. It'd be fine, it'd be good even, if we have a way of not getting one-shot by like 60 damage for weakness. So I think the Holon Energy is good here. So this is what we're going to bring. I'm going to group these up so that they're not entirely in the way here. But I have already saved the deck, so yeah, this is the one we're going to bring, and we will see what it is like. Let's go take a look. See, we got some cool mats going on here. There's EVs on that side. Matt is actually playing the EV deck, so we do have resistance on Jolteon to worry about a little bit, but honestly I kill Jolteon anyway, right? Like, he has the potential to energy root, but I can take that out. The main trouble here is this little goober over here. The Porygon does one-shot Salamence natively, but it also gets one-shot right back by Metagross, so I think we are probably okay. At least we have game against it, which is better than you could say for everything else. We could just play the Evolution EX deck, honestly, but I don't feel practiced enough with that, so I am not going to. Simple as that. Right, let's hop back in voice and see how things are going here. Alrighty. I see Leo is here as well. Hello.
Asleep, of course, my luck.
What's up, Cal?
What's up, Cal?
Yeah.
Oh, late.
Oh, hey, I've just finished the starting bit there, so I wouldn't worry about that. So, I guess I should... I never remember which board it is that I would want to change to on the stuff here, but you know what? We have EVs on one side, we can have EVs on this side as well. That's fair enough.
On the cargo.
I'm making a few edits to my deck. I didn't make the deck for this week. I'm waiting for next draft.
Fair enough, yeah. Well, I'm gonna hop into a different voice room so I stop disturbing these guys. So when you're set, just hop in and let me know.
All right.
Yeah, we'll move into this one. Yeah, I think it will be a bit of a difficult matchup going against Colorless, and obviously Houndoom is over there as well. I have noticed that. Houndoom prevents you from playing trainers, or prevents the opponent from playing trainers if they have more Pokemon in play than you. That is a problem, but Salamence can play on not having too many Pokemon down. It depends on how the initial board sets up. And it's not as if it comes out of absolutely nowhere. So, I don't know. It's an awkward one to play against for sure, but I think it's possible to deal with it. The one thing that isn't in my list that would help against that, though, is Gusting. But I really don't see how I would get Gusting in. Like, I think it's an intriguing setup, because, yeah, the Jolteon does resist me. If he's playing the Houndoom, though, I wonder if he's actually got Energy Root in the deck. I know Matt has Energy Root, so it's definitely possible. But I kind of have a sneaking suspicion he's not playing many of it. Which means that I still one-shot it anyway. So, you know, wouldn't necessarily matter on that front. I actually forget how many like trainers do I even have in here? I think it's quite a few because the whole engine does have a fair bit, but I'm also still playing like a normal support account in here as well as the whole on stuff. So I think it's closer to like 12 or something. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stadiums do count, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I'm only playing 12 trainers in the first place. And yes, it's good to have the stadium cards in play, but this deck doesn't require them. I think what might get tricky is that locking the trainer cards out of play, like locking the non-supporter ones out, might make it a little bit difficult to keep the hand size down for Paragon 2. So it's possible that the engine gets stalled by it, but we'll see. Alright, so we just need Leo to hop on in here then. Hello!
Alright.
Right, so
without it bugging out.
Sorry?
Are we able to change mats now without it?
Yeah, it should be able to change now. I believe they have been like re-uploaded or something, so
Alright.
Right, so, as Matt posted at the end of the start, I mean, I posted at the start of the rule start, Matt's posted at the end here, there are a couple of rule changes that have happened with it here. It goes back to how it was in the original days when it comes to going first now. We do the setup stuff, we flip the coin, and whoever wins has to go first. So, there's no longer any choosing on that front. And the main other thing is, if you've read the stadium cards in this set, you'd see it. It's modern rules on that now. You can't play a stadium to overwrite one of the same name. There's stuff with fossils, but that's next set because we don't have the fossils in here. So basically you have to start with a fossil if it's your only basic, if you will. It does count in the next set, but that is not what we have in this one, so it doesn't matter in that sense. So, yeah, so we do the setup bit now. I did not get to play you or even see what you had last week, so
it was pretty bad.
Oh, we'll see.
Mulligan's still the same?
Yeah, mulligans are still the same. Fire and water. Okay then. Yep, so I put the prizes down. I will take my one drawer. Alright, would you like heads or tails?
Tails.
Alright, I guess I have to go first then. Good luck.
Alright, good luck.
So, as before, oh, the Oddish, nice. As before, we do not get to draw going first, so everything else is still the same, it's just the way that going first is determined. 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm just gonna put a metal down on the big on here, and that is gonna end turn here. Go ahead.
Okay. Lugia.
Yep, there it is.
Oddish.
Yes, this is a bit I've been like, if you want the Steelix, there is a possibility, but, you know.
go into Rocket's admin.
Sure.
And do we still leave the supporters out?
Yes. Yeah, that doesn't change until Generation 5.
Okay.
Right, 6 have been drawn.
Okay. Basically, I'll just switch
Okay.
and end my turn.
Right. Sounds good. We'll draw. Okay. Well, admit that admin was like half good, half terrible. I'm not really sure what to make of it in the end. Like some of it was definitely good because I wasn't going anywhere supporter-wise, but I also had some stuff I would have liked to have played. So, alright, we're on 6 in hand. Okay, I'm gonna bench another Porygon because I have a feeling this one might not last more than like 2 or 3 turns from here. We are going to also bench Jirachi, I think. Seems like it makes sense here. So here's going to be a slightly different way around things here. I'm going to put Hold on Magnemite as an energy on the Jirachi here. So just so we can read it before it goes in. You may attach this as an energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. It's a special energy that just provides 1 colorless. So has its own symbol on here too, which is really good. Then we are going to play Hold on Scientist by discarding TV Reporter. So draw until I have the same number of cards as you do in hand, which is 6. So we'll draw 4. Use that for putting a Beldum down, and that will end the turn. Go ahead.
Okay. Put some water energy. Play a Great Ball.
Yep.
Search.
Yep,
Pidgey.
good old Pidge. Seems like a plan.
This is the Make-A-Wish Jirachi. Yeah.
Yes, this is not the one that has the ability. This is the one that lets me evolve.
Yeah. Oh, it's admin again.
Okay. I actually did have a supporter this time, so I was going to be able to do at least something with that. Jeez.
Might get it back.
Might do.
Master Ball.
Ooh, okay.
Top 7.
Right, so if you find a Pokemon in here, you are obligated to take it at the moment. I disagree with that ruling personally, but that is how it was played at the time, so
Yeah,
there's no fail search off of it here, unless you do not find something.
Basic or evolution.
Yep.
Go to Teddy Ursa.
Teddy Ursa. It's a small bear.
And then put the rest back.
He is real cute though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Alright. Just gonna Mount Moon in case you try something funny.
Yeah, okay.
And that's it.
Okay. We'll draw. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, how do we want to do this then? Let's go... Yeah, Mount Moon actually kinda stuffs a little bit here. That's not the worst, but definitely not where I want to be with this right now. Because, yeah, being 70 or less actually does make a difference here. Let's go Rare Candy for Salamence here. It's one of the core ideals of this one, at least. Oh, this guy's weak to Psychic. That's weird. Okay. I mean, it's not the first time Lugia's had that, but it's just like, yeah, that's kind of strange. Trying to think what I want to do with it here. You've got 4. Okay. Not too impressive. Let's go.
What's strange is Salamence being weak to fire.
I
That's
know,
strange.
right? This is the
I'm
Delta.
sorry.
This is the
Resistant
Delta
to
species part. Yeah, being resistant to fire is just something Salamence has been like this entire time for whatever reason. At least there's been one that's had no weakness resistance, and then like the hollow one has been resistant to fire and fighting and weak to colorless. So it's kind of strange, but yeah.
Very strange.
Makes things interesting here though. Yeah, so we're using Celio for search here. This is where, like, if I could, Paragon 2 would be great, but, spoilers, Paragon 2's got 70 HP, so Mount Moon actually stops it from working right now, which is not good for me. Kind of also stops Jirachi working too, which is fun. Obviously not the one I have out, but, you know, presuming I have the other one, which is fairly safe to assume.
That was exactly why I put it in my deck.
So, instead then, we are going to get Metang. Which I'm not going to bother shuffling up yet because I'm going to pay retreat on the Paragon to the Jirachi, put a counter down on this thing for its Make a Wish, so we're going to go straight for Metagross here. I may not have the new one, but I do have this one, and this one's perfectly good right now. Alright. Go for it.
Draw.
Yep. Yeah, we'll admit, Mount Moon has not been the one that we've had to deal with too often here, so...
From the experience share. Oops.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah, it goes in now. It's Pepper's done more very good work with this stuff here, so... Yep, there's your fire.
Alright. Can't do much of anything, actually. So I actually will just pass.
Okay. We'll try.
This deck is extremely slow.
Yeah! Maybe a bit, but at the same time, like, I don't think I can really do too much to pressure right now.
Yeah.
There is some stuff I can do, it's just, like, not super pretty right now. Yeah, because you've not exactly left me with a lot of options in your hand either. We will go with Holon Transceiver. So we will just double check. It's Scientist in the discard. So like Scientist is normally fine, but you have like no cards in your hand. So drawing cards here with that, I could maybe draw 2, which maybe that's worth it. I could probably do better with a different thing out of the deck. No, honestly, like, I hate having to do this, but I think this is going to be the best one, is just get the Scientist out of the discard here. So, we will attach Psychic to the Metagross, and then play the Scientist, discard Holon Mentor to draw 2 to match your hand size. Okay. And then, I mean, I might as well get Paragon 2s out anyway, because it's not as if we're doing anything else with it right now. So, we'll make a wish and grab the Paragon 2, which would normally be great in this situation, except for Mount Moon. Alright, go ahead.
Draw. Oh, yeah, research.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Not as good as you think, actually. But
Someone not playing Lightning, or is it prized?
No, I'm not. I'm not playing Lightning.
I see.
For a pretty simple reason, but you'll see.
Yeah, we'll see as we go.
I'm just gonna immediately play it. Which?
Ah, okay.
Scratch for 10.
Okay, so that puts this up to 30. Alright, we will draw. That's interesting, but is it good? Kind of. Let me have that. Okay, let's go see. This thing just kind of nukes everything when it gets a chance. There's no inherent acceleration on the board at the moment now, so will it get that chance is the question. Let's go for Holon Mentor here. I think I will discard Metal for the cost here. So with Mentor, we are going to grab probably just the crew here. Yeah. I might as well draw them because I don't particularly want to because I can't play Porygon anyway. I don't exactly want to, you know, draw into them every turn. But I can just go there, and I believe I have Shogun in deck. I'm gonna make a wish and just make sure. Yeah, we do. So I would have just failed such and not put the damage counter on otherwise, so I just wanted to make sure it was there. So do that, and Shogun can go down. Go ahead.
Draw. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Please watch the eating on the mic. We do put these
Oh,
up on
sorry.
YouTube, so I prefer if that audio wasn't on. Alright. Okay.
Energy recycle.
Oh yeah, you did discard the water at the start of the game for retreating, right? Yeah.
Frozen. There we go.
Ah, sigh.
Just put it back on Lugia.
Okay. Just attach straight
And
away.
Scratch for 10. That's
Sure.
it. I've been trying to mute my mic on your turn. So
Yeah,
I'm sure,
that's
so.
fine, it's fine. I'm not trying to be a stickler with it, it's just
No, you're good.
yeah.
I understand.
Alright, well, I have like everything except the except the means to actually like play stuff I want. I do have the Salamence, so I mean I can get it down. I suppose that's something. It's weird because like I kind of want to go in, but at the same time I don't know if I have a backup if I do. It's so bizarre to think about here. Just haven't drawn a fire is the main problem here. So do that, still not super good. Probably fine. We'll equip Solid Rage on this Salamence, so if I go behind on prizes I'll do 20 more damage. Again, for what it's worth right now. I don't know if it's actually gonna help, but yeah, and I guess I'll just ping it so I can get the other Porygon 2 out. I mean, at least I've gotten that far, but again, can't do much with the stadium blocking if I don't draw supporters I can properly play here, right? Alright, go for it. Very, very weird. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that would make sense.
Scratch for knockout.
Yep. Prize gets taken. Where do we even go? I guess... No, you can retreat to that. It's a little annoying. Yeah, let's just go in with a Porygon at the moment. Right, we'll draw. See, normally I'd be happy to see that card, but I don't even know if it helps right now. God. So weird. Okay, let's bench the Beldum. And I think... yeah, I think we're just gonna Scientist. We'll discard the Bagon, draw 2. Okay, that might help a little bit. Where do we go with that then? Do that to do that. Force the issue. Does that help in the long run? Kind of. Do we want to... we're going to use the Metagross's ability here because it has enough HP. Put a damage counter on this thing, accelerate one of the metal from the discard to it. Yeah, I guess I force you to just attack with it. We'll attach and we'll use the Machine Burst to do 30 here. So it's not enough to get the KO, but at least it's putting on some pressure at this point. Oops. Ah, yes, there is the lady. You cannot put a Scramble Energy on this thing, it's not an evolved Pokemon.
Yeah, I forgot. Okay.
That's alright.
I'll just scratch for 10.
Sure. Okay. We'll draw. Okay. Finally can actually get something going here. Let's bounce that stadium with Holon Ruins. So finally get Mount Moon out of the way here. Do play enough of them. I should have had that earlier, but whatever. We're going to put Scramble on the Salamence here. And we'll use one of the Paragons to do backup to draw until I have 6 in hand. So draw 5 here. Yeah, we'll use the effect of the runes here because I have a Delta Pokemon in play. Draw 1 card, discard 1. Am I really that far down in my deck already? Jesus. Okay. We'll discard Fire here. It actually surprises me a little. I didn't think I was that far down. That might change things a little bit then. Gotta be a bit more careful. Right, I have attached, so we don't bother with that one. Do we do anything else? No, I think we just take the knockout with the Porygon here actually. So we'll use its Machine Burst and do 30. Okay, so this does bonus to EX, fair dues. Right. Yes,
Alright,
Pico.
let's see. You know, Steven's advice for 6.
Yes, you are. Yep. Yeah, Pika's just gone, but if you draw your entire deck, you don't have to search for anything. Yes, that is true, but I didn't think I was that far down already.
Dark Candy into Blossom.
It's pretty good. Yeah. I guess I have, like, searched a lot of evolutions out. This board is pretty big, so I can see it. It's just, like, I didn't think I was so far down the deck already when I've done nothing for, like, 8 turns, you know? Oh.
Hey, Leopold, how are you?
Hey, Don.
Did you have a good trip?
Hang on.
Bless. Bless.
Okay, sorry.
No,
Parents
don't
a
worry
little
about it.
loud.
It's fine.
Just bars in my room.
Right,
See,
so you've evolved. Yep.
I'm gonna play this on somebody.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't put it on the Lugia
Lugia.
because it's special energy. It's going to cancel each other out. I'll just let you know that
Oh
now. If
yeah.
you multi
Oh, yeah, I
energy will
forgot.
cancel itself out, so
Yeah, I won't
I'll
be able
save
to
you from
connect.
that one.
Yeah, let's put on Latios. A great ball.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't want that to be how this ended.
Be pretty tragic.
Certainly would have been.
Ursa,
More bears.
rare
Ooh.
into Ursaring.
Oh, that's cool. Alright, what does this thing do? Oh, right. Oh, wow. It's like,
Cool.
it's literally anti-Jirachi. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
this deck is kind of built anti-Jirachi.
Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, I only have one of them, so...
And then just Elemental Blast for overkill.
Yeah. Imagine doing piercing damage in this game, right? Right, so that also has to discard the water, the fire, and the multi, I guess, for the lightning in this instance.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, that's a hell of an attack. I guess I do need to bring in this. Alright, we'll draw. That's kind of funny,
Nothing to
but...
see here, guys. Just a regular battle.
Yeah, this is probably about the right time for it. We are going to Transceiver. This time going into the deck for it. I got Mount Moon for my life for like 8 turns and couldn't do anything for ages, and somehow I'm still at like 15 cards in deck even though I didn't do anything. I don't know what's up with that, but you know. Right, so we're going to go for Farmer this time round. We are going to discard... should probably be an energy because I can get that back here. Yeah, let's discard the Psychic. So discard to play it, and then it is your energy recycle system and Pokemon Retriever. But I can't get the stuff to hand; it has to be to the deck. It's kind of like Town Volunteers or something, but like bigger.
Bigger but more restrictive.
Yeah.
That Type X would much prefer Volunteers just because sending back 5 is a very legit play in that deck.
Yeah. So we're gonna get these guys back in. So that can be for later. Right. So start that. We're gonna use the Metagross effect here because I still have metal in the discard, so we're going to accelerate that. I do need to discard a metal in order to use this attack, so it makes sense to accelerate it back. We'll attach a fire to the bench here and use the Porygon to draw 1. And when does this happen? So if it's active, damage, blah blah blah. Right, okay, so we're going to use the Delta Blast to do it'll be 120 because I've got Solid Rage as well, but again, overkill, whatever. Discard the thing for the cost of the attack, and now, I guess, having done the damage, your flip comes in, and you get to bounce one of these energy back to hand now that's on this elements. Right? Yeah. Okay, so this goes back to hand. And yep, Lugia goes down because it's taken way too much damage there. We will draw 2 prizes. Of course that's what they were, but that's fine. Yep.
I'm going to refill my drink.
Ah, yeah, there it is. That's a pretty good retaliation. Ooh, yeah, okay.
See how the coin flip goes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I guess I could have played the effective ruins last turn, but I didn't think I needed that much draw from that situation. Yep, so that's going to go down, bounce that.
Alright, largest attack with the rock smash. It should be 80 plus.
If you flip heads, it's going to kill it, right?
If it happens, yeah, pretty much.
Alright, so it's tails. I do have a metal on me, and I am metal type, so I'm going to take 10 less from that. So it is going to go up to 80 damage, but it's not actually going to... It's going to do 70, because metal's guarding it a little bit. Alright, we will draw. Kind of wondering if it would do even better if you actually did KO me there, but no, I think this is fine. This thing's got, what, 80 HP? Yeah, we can take that out. For some reason, this thing's got just 1 energy for its retreat cost, so we're going to retreat into this guy. We're going to Celio for Metagross here. Of course, it's the next card in deck anyway, but, you know, can't draw it when I don't have draw support for it. Rare Candy to the Metagross here. Use both of their abilities, unless, yeah, because I just discarded a metal, so I should have the 2 in here. I've got 3, yeah. Yeah, we'll use both of the Metagross's abilities. We'll put the 2 damage cannons on this, thank you. And accelerate the 2 metal from the discard. Attach fire from the hand here, and we will Delta Blast, discard 1 of the metal, do 1 hundo. And that's enough to knock out the bear. Yeah, because it's only basics that it stops using powers, so stops them attacking too, so yeah, it's a really good anti-Jirachi thing, but they... Wait, Hold on Farmer was originally ruled that you couldn't retrieve the card you discarded with the cost, but that doesn't make sense because the discard happens before the effect comes in. It was changed so that you could. That's what I was saying, but that like literally doesn't make sense. It says discard a card, then do. So does this also have to be on Evolved Pokemon, actually? Oh, wait, it's still on my Mence, right? It's on here.
Oh, it does.
Oh, yeah, it does, yeah. Sorry, dude. Yep, so it's going to be 5. Muscle band when, am I right?
And we do have strength charm if you really want it.
Yeah, this one's okay, I think. This one can't be on Dark or on a Pokemon, but this is not one of those, it's just Latias, so...
It's annoying that the restriction text is in the tiny little font at the top. You normally
yeah. Yep. Ah, playing a mix of Duel and Great Ball. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the only reason I've not played like one of those this time round is because I have Mentor, right? If I'm playing the Holon engine anyway, I don't think there's much of a reason for me to play like the Duel or the Great Balls because the Mentor searches out the stuff for me, but...
Yeah, Mentor's generally enough to get you started and then some.
Failed search, okay, yep. Yeah, and I'm functionally playing like 6 copies of Dual Ball, if you will, at this point, because I have the transceivers that can also get Mentor, so... Ooh, Sure. Ah, bird.
If you want a game, Si, I can move over.
Yeah, I'm just doing a double check, make sure my numbers are right in the stack.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Build draw. Go. Oh no, because I had to discard one. We do have 2 left in there. So I could do that, I suppose. See, is there anything I need out of this hand, really? Let's just do... Hold on, researcher here, so we will discard the Mentor to search for the Delta species mon here. Which we put back in the deck. It is the Bagon. Oh. So we'll put that down. Let's use the active Metagross to accelerate metal from the discard to itself. So it can pay a retreat, so we'll pay the 2 to do that. Do I want to go into that? Because I might... Tarnish, this is resistant to Psychic too, yeah, so... Might regret that if I just go straight in guns blazing there. Because it still kills Salamence, it hits it for weakness. Kind of annoying. Yeah, let's go with the damaged one then, because I think I can still do enough with this. We'll use the second Metagross to accelerate this back. Have a Fire Energy, but I don't believe I have a Fire in the discard right now because I shuffled them all back. I don't, I have Psychic. So we'll do Fire Dance, it'll do just 30 damage here, but it's better than nothing in this spot. So we'll just plonk that on, and that'll be the turn.
Oh, okay. I think I finished eating
That's no worries.
and being bothered by other people. Let's see.
Outside.
Definitely can't win this anymore. So yeah, now that my cards are available, then I guess Professor Elm.
Yep.
And then evolve. Use
Yep.
Heal Dance. This is a sad state of mind. Hold on. You have just one Metal Energy?
Just one, yeah. So Clutch is doing
Oh, okay.
10 at the moment because,
I'll
yeah.
just scramble.
That, on the other hand, will do more, yes.
Yeah, scramble for 60.
Yep, so that's going to get a knockout on this thing.
Hmm.
So let's see, you've got 3 energy on you with that now. Yeah, we can still match that. Right. We will draw. I might as well put the scramble on myself here because it will still be 1 colorless energy, so I can do that. We will put 2 more. Yeah, get that yeeted off the field. Put 2 more counters on this so we can accelerate the psychic and the metal that I have in the discard to the Metagross here with the 2 powers. Get this evolved. And we will Link Blast. We have the same amount of energy attached because this is free energy, so it'll do 70. And,
Really?
yeah. If we match energy, it's if we have the same amount of energy attached, not energy cards, it does 70 instead of 40. And this is only 1 energy right now because I'm ahead on prizes.
Oh,
Or at least
yeah, I'd
equal.
like to say it.
Yeah. No, but Scramble Energy is only a triple
so-
if you are behind on prizes. So it's a comeback energy,
Alright,
not
pretty sure that's. I knew that. I didn't realize the effect was energy, like period.
yeah, it's not
Like, it
counting
hasn't-
cards, it's counting the total number that's available, yeah.
Alright. This is annoying. Gloom.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure I can't do anything. Excuse me. I guess Celia.
Yep. Okay.
That I really first. And then you are elite to psychic. Okay, not psychic. So I'll
No,
just
you are
heal
not.
like-
That is
Healing
the
like-
entire reason I couldn't go in with Salamence, is because you KO Salamence with your colorless typing.
Mhm. Healing light for 10.
Yep. So, well, yeah, there's no damage on your side, so I guess that makes sense. And, yeah, you know, we can...
Actually, would it be 0 because you have metal?
Metal only prevents if it's attached to a metal Pokemon, which inexplicably Metagross is not this time round, it's only Psychic. So...
Alright.
yeah, it's this was something that is at the start of this generation. But yeah, we have game on board because I can just pay the 2 to retreat. We'll put one of the abilities to do that and knock this thing out with the Delta Blast to do 100.
Alright, so I think I know what my main weakness. I know what my main weakness is. I don't
Getting
have
one
a
shot.
consistent attacker. Well, I also don't have a consistent attacker.
Yeah,
Because,
that's fair. Everything discards, doesn't it?
Yeah, which would be fine if I had a way to attach multiple energy at once, but I don't.
Yeah, this is
So-
the logic
it's,
behind using Blastoise in this kind of deck, is that the Blastoise can provide you the attachments, and
Right, but he'll only provide the water type attachments.
I was
I don't
getting
have
there.
Go ahead.
I was getting there. This Delta species gave us Holon's Electrode and Holon's Magneton, so you bounce one of the energy from your Pokemon back into the hand, and then that's a double rainbow energy that can go on anything. So,
Yeah, I only drew Holon Magneton. I only drafted one Holon Magneton. Holon Electro, I didn't even draft.
there is one
Well,
Holon
no.
Electrode. There
Go ahead.
is one Electrode in one of the decks, as I gave you the JSON stuff for. It's in the Crobat deck, has got one Electrode in it. So,
Oh, the theme deck?
yeah, the theme deck.
Okay.
So,
Oh, probably not that.
yeah. I'm sitting on like 5 at the moment because I pulled 4 Electrode and 1 Magneton, and there's like no deck in the universe that needs 5 of them right now. But it's just like most
Oh, wow.
everybody else has pulled enough of the stuff that they would need for it, or we didn't have enough. They didn't have enough stuff to trade me, basically. So,
What are you asking for?
uh, what else do I even need at this point? I'll have to check because I mean, there's one of the other bits of I was still like looking to see if you wanted the Steelix as a trade too, just to like actually round that deck out at this point. But that probably waits until next thing, until we see if you want to play the LBS stuff that way. But
Well, oh, let me add the Electrode and Magneton and
yeah, that
fire the
definitely
metal
will
now.
help. Do you want to play in the meantime, Matt? Should we get that? Have a crack at that? Yeah. See.
It's good.
Change.
Uh,
I'll play on the stomp field. I don't mind. It's
um,
got a little star on it. I love the ice cube just being like on its head there.
Upside down.
It's just very silly. Do you think it can get back up from that? Actually, is it like until the ice head cracks? Is it just screwed?
Probably not, to be honest. Like, it looks pretty top heavy.
Yeah, I don't know. Right, set up before play as you reposted the rule change stuff, so we know.
Mulligan.
Well, same for me. Yo, that's a dark metal I see in there. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only saw like a little bit of the stuff here. I saw the Delta EVs, and I'm like, that's an interesting challenge for this one because Jolteon does resist me. But then I was like, wait, but I just one-shot you anyway if you don't have metal on. So
Yeah.
okay, I do have a basic Pokemon this time, so I will take my 1. And I will actually bench it here. What do you want?
Heads on first.
Well, it's not heads, so I have to go first anyway. Yeah, there's not a choice as to who goes first with it nowadays. So, right. Well, I have a fire energy, so we can put this down and we can call for family. For what it's worth, I'm playing this one because it's not weak to fire, and I was like, yeah, you might not let me actually get my search and stuff done first, so I can actually make sure of what's going on. Because now you've benched that, I could easily say I'm not putting anything else down now.
Yeah.
I could
That's
just fail search, but I shouldn't, because I shouldn't know that you've put that down. So I will do the honorable thing, and I will still take something anyway.
I'll pass.
Okay. Wow, no. Okay.
Yeah. Super duper. I'm like,
Yeah, that's a start and a half then. What do we do with that? Okay, let's go for Celio then. Still gonna double check on that. It's weird because part of me wants to just go for the Salaman's parts here, right? But probably the smart move is to go for Porygon 2 right now. Realizing that I am likely not going to have too many turns with this thing because you are probably just going to end up Frontier plus Houndoom in at some point. We should play it now. I'm going to put the Firefighting Holon on the Bagon here, so we can draw 2 with backup. Functionally, it makes me have no weakness in this deck. I don't have the fighting part, obviously, so
gotcha.
so we'll draw 2. See, that's the thing of how much do I actually just play into it now. Because I kind of feel like if I get my setup, I'm probably fine against it anyway. but how much do we risk that is the question, right? Seems kind of dangerous. But the setup is so consistent, it's probably still good to do. Yeah, I guess we're gonna call for family. Houndoom's probably gonna mess with stuff, but if it is, I'd rather have the Pokemon out of the deck right now than on it, right? Right, sorry, what are we doing here? Alright, draw 3 with the quest. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I should discard this now.
Ruins.
Sure. Oh, that was a lag spike and a half.
Boy.
This doesn't sound too promising right now.
Yeah, I'm not stuck anymore, which is good. But it's not what I want to be doing.
Yeah. Understandable. Yeah, nothing else in there right now.
Could be Corian.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
So stupid. OMGL.
Yep.
Energy root.
You have got the route, yeah. I didn't think you wouldn't have it, but it's just like, yeah, that's one of the few ways you would survive here. Yeah, use the Delta Search. That's one of the few ways you would survive me with Jolteon. It's like, if you have the route, then you can survive with resistance, but, you know, it's like, you gotta have it first. Right, okay, let's see what we can do.
Just trying not to be dunked here.
Yeah, I understand. Do not envy the spot that way. It's not an amazing position to be in with this. Like, I have some stuff I can do. It's just very awkward considering the threat of Houndoom down there, right? But then again, I've been looking at it. I'm not even sure how much that necessarily affects, so long as it doesn't come down immediately, which it hasn't. So, with that said, I think Celio seems like a pretty respectable supporter again here. Not necessarily the one I would normally play this time round, but if it gets me this out, then it's probably fine. Because, yeah, now it hasn't come out quick enough for me to not light Rare Candy up, so I at least have that going. Since it's now evolved, I can put Solid Rage down on it. We will bench Jirachi so that I can back up to draw 3. Huh, okay. Evolve this one to the Shogun. Not stellar, but I mean, I guess this is the backup play, right? Is to go this guy so we can tap. See, it's already on 5 because convenient searching is convenient, right? It's the best one out of that. It's like 2 good options. Probably that. Yeah. Get that back in. It's probably that because it gives me a good attachment for this turn. Put the metal down on the Salamence. And yeah, that's gonna do it. See if we wake up. Which we don't. Okay.
Mary.
More draw free. Nice to have actually pulled at least one of those out of a pack, huh? Wouldn't know about that. Didn't get any. So I've only got the one from the deck.
Oops. We'll go Electro, Bounce.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Alright, Return Wave. Not bounce.
Yeah, I don't think there's a reason to bounce there when I don't have an energy. Okay, wake up is good. We will draw. God, you are a very funny game. Alright, might as well just get the other one down, because I probably will need a decent number of attackers this time. Will admin. Not sure if it's good or bad here, but my hand is going nowhere, so get 6. Okay. Not exactly what I want to see, but sure. We'll bounce Stadium with Research Tower, I suppose, so I can back up and draw 1. We will tap, I guess, and get another card out here. Okay. Slowly but surely we'll get this thing equipped. We will pass the turn at that. I might as well flip, but it's not going to matter. Yeah, okay. It can be awake when it dies, as Sai likes to say.
Yeah. Alright, I'll play 3 Great Balls.
Sure. That's pretty good. See, the hilarious thing is you usually don't like Great Ball as well, but I think it makes a lot of sense to play in these sorts of things, because especially with the Eevee too, because you could just Great Ball Metal Energy on an Eevee and just Energy Evolve it straight away. It's actually really cool. I just thought, this is the set that's got Dual Ball in it, surely you're going to play Dual Ball, but nope.
Yeah. Well, the reasoning being this one doesn't have any, like when you play this card things.
Oh yeah.
So it's fine to just slam it on the bench.
Yeah. And no EXs that are basics either, right? So it's not as if you're worried about not being able to search a target or something. And yeah, since you don't have Mentor, right? You have like 1.
The upside of getting 2 heads on Dual Ball also isn't really there in Houndoom decks, since you usually don't want 3 bench guys at once.
Yeah, and you don't have the whole on engine to use the other one as a discard fodder, so no, it makes a lot of sense. I really do not like Dual Ball in most situations. I'd be a little bit more inclined to play it now if we're also playing the Holon Magnemite or the Voltorb, because being able to Dual Ball search that is pretty good. That's the argument you've made of the whole like going to bench instead of going to the hand. But yeah, if you're not playing that either, I think Great Ball is just like far and away the best one personally. But you know that I've been an advocate for it for the entire time it's been out, and I'm like, yeah, no, you play this one, you don't play the other one unless you like losing to 25%.
Well, I think we'll go metal.
Yep, so you can get the thing out. Yeah, Jolteon's obviously just really good here. Not impermeable, not impregnable even, but it's still very good.
Now we'll Return Wave. I am gonna bounce something, but I'm not sure what.
Makes sense.
We'll bounce the GM.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting choice because I've had this in one of the other decks I was going to play. You get your prize as well. I've had this choice in one of my other decks as well, going, well, I've actually bounced the Electrode in one of the other ones because it's like, if this thing's dying next turn anyway, then I get to just put that on the next thing that I go with, but obviously it depends on the situation. Yeah, the only thing that makes sense is the Salamence here. I don't think there's really any question. Okay. Let's go Shogun again. You've only got 5, so do we do that, or do we... This is probably more likely to yield good results. Yeah, we will admin here. I think that's gonna be more likely to hit what I need. Yeah, that's good enough. Let's put Matang down as well, and Psychic Energy. Right, so, because this thing lets me treat any of my basic energies with metal as well, I'm going to discard the Psychic to do Delta Blast here for the 100, and 20 because of Solid Rage.
Cool.
Now it's back down to 100, but that's fine. 100 with -10 on my actual self right now is still pretty good, so... Oh, I didn't even back up that turn either. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't have changed my play anyway. I'm just like, whoops. I just noticing there's 5 cards in my hand after taking the prize, and I'm like, shouldn't I have 7? Whoops. It's all good.
It's my copycat weaker, so
Yeah, exactly.
you can just say it was a big brain play. There's a read.
Yep.
Okay, so you only hit me for 6.
Yeah, I hit you 60 at the moment because of your resistance. This is why I said Jolteon was like so good this round, because it resists like all of the new decks, you know? Yep.
It's Houndoom time!
Yep.
Battle Frontier.
Yep.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay. Yeah, we'll metal, go to Jolteon,
Yep.
and then Delta Search.
I will take no damage because of my metal energy, however.
It's fine. Yes.
Yep, it's the Grass Lightning one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, just when it goes down, I don't get a chance to see it. It's just like I'm just making sure that I know the symbol properly for it, like the colors on the outside. Yeah. We haven't played with these yet, so it's just good to keep in mind. Right. Okay. We will draw. That is fine. See, the fun thing is I don't necessarily need item cards anymore because I've already established a decent bit. TV Reporter. So we will draw. That's pretty solid. What have we already got here? There's a Psychic in there because I discarded that last time. Seems pretty good. Discard Paragon 2 because I don't think we're going to need that anytime soon. Metagross. Get that down. Annoyingly, that also doesn't kill you though because it does 70 base and you've got the metal energy on, so
Yeah.
It's very close, but it's not quite there. So Return Spark is only doing 40 at the moment, so I think I'm pretty okay with that. I can tank this thing for a fair while. Let's go ahead and use the ability here. We'll take the Psychic out of the discard and attach a fire to this one. And this time I do have to discard the metal energy because you bounced my stadium, but I think that's still fine. We'll do 60, yeah. That's still respectable. It is so gross that this thing only has a 1 retreat cost as well, by the way. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yep, bounce the metal, okay.
Turn spark.
Yep, so I will take 50 because I don't have the metal anymore.
Yeah. Here. I think I'll bounce the electrode.
Sure, and 22.
Let's see. Resistance, sort of. Well, it's just.
Yeah, suddenly real glad I'm using these shotguns that have got the 10 damage reduction.
Yeah.
It's pretty helpful. Alright, we'll draw. Let's use the Metagross to accelerate here. So there's that. Because I don't really see a world where I'm not just trading hits here, I guess. Let's go for Researcher. We will discard Transceiver and search out the Salamence here. Or not, because apparently they're both prized. Okay, never mind. We will get a metal energy then. Fine, be that way. How the hell do I keep prizing this badly against you? This is ridiculous. We will attach down here. This is unbelievable, actually. This happens like every single time. It's so stupid. Yeah, and we will take the knockout. Absolutely shocking.
Got Beanberry.
Yeah, it's got a fluffy on it as well, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, these things resist fire too, so Houndoom does nothing in this matchup in terms of real damage.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm glad I haven't tried to like back up by mistake, by the way, because I have remembered obviously the stadium is in play. I'm glad I haven't tried to accidentally do that yet, because my hand has been below 6 the entire time, so you know,
Yeah.
easy done, but I'm glad I haven't tried to do that yet.
No. What's it?
Not the matchup that was expected this week, I don't think.
I thought there might be a little Salamence action.
Well, yeah, I've only just been able to like get this deck together, so this is kind of like on the fly sort of testament. I've done some solo games obviously, but it's just like this is the first time I'm actually playing somebody else with this deck, so gotta say, fairly impressed actually.
Yeah. Okay. That's not good. Much. That's bad. Okay. Oh, yeah, I really don't. But no, you don't have Salmons unless you do it.
Yeah, because I mean, even if I didn't outright tell you, the fact if I searched the medal instead of the Salamence last turn would have been a dead giveaway, right?
Yeah.
It's like even just looking at it from the actual logical perspective, it's like, yeah, there's no way I would have not picked up Salamence with the way this board state is right now.
Oh man.
Oh, he did bring it.
Alright. It's here. But we're gonna go for GL
Okay, yep.
and
Okay.
oh, search.
Uh-huh. Are we getting anything here, or is it just...
No,
No.
yeah, I said felt search.
Right, okay. Just making sure, because we should shuffle for that anyway. If you want to see what else is in there still.
See. Oh. Yeah, good.
Right.
So I feel like I
Yeah,
won't be
that's
taking
okay.
anything.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, 2 out of 5, I suppose. I did get the other Salamence, so that is now in play.
Nice.
Which is helpful, at the very least. Yeah, as much as I want to be cute with this here, I don't particularly want to chance the fact that you might have like Solid Rage in there yourself, because if I go in with like Metagross and you Solid Rage me, I'm going to be very sad. So I think we are going to retreat to this guy. This, I don't know if Solid Rage is going to be useful later, but it might be, so we might as well keep it around. Use the Metagross to get a Metal back. Attach Metal from hand. This is Fire Metal double colorless on this thing, so it's pretty good. 20 left. Just thinking, do I need to do anything else? This guy's honestly not going to be super good from here anyway. We'll hold on Scientist, discard the Porygon, draw 2 because you've got 4 in hand. Figure I may as well at least get a useless card out of my hand there, right? And then, yeah, we're going to Delta Blast, still only do 60, but this time I've still got Mental Energies on me, so I'm still fine with that.
Okay.
Right, go for it.
Well, switch code.
Mm-hmm.
Metal.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll just turn Spark.
So this is doing 30 at this point. Yeah, it's only the Salamence that I managed to rare candy. This went through the metang that I no, I didn't search it. I had it in hand at one point, but yeah, it didn't go through rare candy. I know why you're looking. Yep. All right, where are we sniping?
That is the question. Let's see, so 50. That way. You know, let's put it on the mints.
Yep. Yeah, so that stops me from using the connectivity on it at least.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Right, we'll draw. 6. Let's go. Mentor, discard ruins here. More or less trying to fin dead cards out of the deck at this point, but I do get Magnemite as well, so that might not be quite so dead. Because that might actually come up. Well, I want to grab them all. Alright. So, yeah, we are going to put another counter on this, get the metal back. It's a little awkward self-damaging so much like this, but I feel like it's not really been too much of a hindrance if I'm taking big enough like hits here.
Yeah.
We will. I mean, I'm never getting below you on bench size anyway. We'll bench the Belden just in case I can somehow get Metagross out again. It's possible. Let's put Scramble down for the attachment for turn on the Metagross here, and yeah, we'll discard one of these metal. We will take the KO.
Sounds good.
God, even if you had Scramble, Flamethrower doesn't knock it out because I have 2 metal energy on it, jeez.
Yeah, fire resistance.
Oh yeah, also that too, right. God, your Flamethrower does like 20 damage right now, that's depressing.
Yeah.
I forget this thing resists fire because I've never played with Salamence so far.
Oh boy.
I don't envy your position, I'll just say that right now.
Yeah. I haven't seen this in a while. Okay. Here somewhere. We will go.
There's a lot of EVs in that discard pile. Yep. 2 Jolts, Vaporeon, and 3 EVs. I know Flareon and Espeon are still available, but Espeon doesn't work with Energy Evolution, and Flareon does no damage, so I don't know how many others you've got, but
yeah, I guess so.
do you have another Jolteon? Okay, yep.
Go. Huh. Yeah, I guess we'll just have to pass it there.
Okay, just in case. Right, we'll draw. Okay, do I have... I should have a... Yeah, I have one because I discarded one at the start of the game. Let's go attach fire to Shelgon and fire dance. 30 damage, and we'll put the fire energy onto Silence. So use the first attack here for 30. Right,
Yeah.
go for it.
Okay.
I've not been able to use that attack yet because you've had energy, like you've had resistance on Jolteon this entire time, so I've just been like kind of waiting until I can actually make use of that.
Yep. I'll pass. Your turn.
Okay, we will draw. Okay. Let's see. I can't do that again because I don't have another one in the discard, but that's fine. Although I could if I go in with this one. It's probably worth it actually. I'm gonna pay the fire to retreat to this one, and fire dance for KO, and we'll put the energy back on here. Hang on. Sorry, I'm gonna attach metal to the Shelgon before I'm dumb and forget to attach for turn. There's no point in having fucking energy in hand if you're not gonna attach them. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was too busy going, oh yeah, I can do the accelerate play, that's gonna be great. It's like, no, play your turn out properly first, you idiot.
Not good. Uh, 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 uh. Well, let's see. This would be
Okay. Okay.
Spark.
You do not have the required energy for that.
Ah, that's accurate. Does it matter? I'll just oh yeah, for the that's
You can swap back if you want, and I attached after turn anyway, so you can swap the energy back if you want. If I know you've got the electrode in hand, so if you wanted to do that instead, so that would be one of the metals and one of the dark metals in hand. Then, yeah, because I don't want that to be the cause of any issues here.
but that's bad too, because I have to leave the metal. Which means
Yeah, otherwise you just die.
So I think the way I did it was good, actually.
Fair dues. Yep.
Maybe not good, but
It's probably passable for this situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do the hit. I'm assuming, or if you got something else you want to play.
yeah, I'm thinking about cards in hand still.
Ooh, if somebody got a POW over there, that'd be interesting.
What's the purpose of the first one? Oops. Well, in that case, okay, let's about to happen. Jolteon gets smacked by Salamence probably. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so instead of Dark Metal,
Yep.
we're gonna do the Rainbow,
Oh, okay.
and then that'll let us bounce. I guess.
Not gonna lie, that wasn't a card I expected to see in this one, but I guess it makes sense.
We'll just bounce the double Rainbow back
And Snipe.
and 10 to meta.
Yeah, so it's 10 there. So this gets KO'd. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to bring anyone but the Salamence in here. So we do that. Farmer, let's discard. Just discard that Jirachi. So we have got to do. I don't know why I brought it out here. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We have got to do the 2 energy because it's mandatory, and we will do the Bagon, the Salamence, and doesn't really matter because they're all kind of dead anyway. That Jirachi at least looks a bit cuter, so we'll put that one back in. Honestly, it does not matter. I just have to choose one of them because it's mandatory numbers, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so Fire Psychic, Bagon, Salamence, and Jirachi going back in. I think in the interest of preserving damage numbers, I should probably still accelerate here. I mean, functionally, it's probably about the same, but it means I could afford not to accelerate next turn. Whoa!
Oh, you just dealt me a Zubat.
Misclick, my bad.
Oh,
I
it's
wasn't
you!
trying to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I can play Zubat on this board, so I appreciate it, but I'll give you it back.
Did everyone get a card? It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
You went deal, I think, instead of like draw or something, so
you dealt it to all
my bad,
hands.
That was a misclick.
that's okay.
I assume those came
That's
from
all.
Leo?
It was a misclick.
Yeah, they came from Leo. I thought
Yeah.
it, I
Just making sure, 'cause I
assumed.
do have bats out.
Yeah, that's why I assumed it was you.
Yeah, it's funny how I drafted that many Zubats too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, let's put the Psychic on the Metagross. This might need to attack at some point soon. And
Alright, back to your
yeah.
regularly scheduled duels.
yeah, so I did attach. That's why there's an extra counter on this because it was at 50. So we'll just effectively attach it and then discard it for the blast to do 50 to you at the moment because you've got 2 metal energy on you. Thing is, that's still a heckin' chunk of damage though, so I am still okay with this.
Oh, Peppy, if you were psych on a battle, I think I'm ready.
You wanna have a go, Leo? Or Pepper? Because
Yeah, I
you won.
made a few adjustments.
What am I even gonna do?
Also, I didn't notice where. Oh, let me just say this in the other. I'll go to the other chat.
Got 9 supporters. Appeared yet?
Oh no! Have you gone too much greed in this deck?
I mean, I think I have like 12 supporters. It's alright.
So it shouldn't be
I've
that bad.
underdrawn them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dramatically underdrawn them. Well, so he's gonna get bopped. That means I should attach something, obviously. Max damage. So it'll be this guy.
Yep.
Then we'll have 1 prize left.
Yep.
So whatever I have would have to be to survive. Basically needing to. Need that. Okay. Well, we'll return spark. We'll bounce a metal.
Okay, and 22.
Digress again, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, 6 on that then. We will draw. Yeah, I've got 2 medals, so it only did 30 active.
Yep.
Yeah, this engine's pretty brutal when it gets going. That's one thing I've noticed. It's like, man, it's kind of crazy. I'm just trying to think if there's any logical reason for me to go elsewhere with this. You don't have an EV down. This deck isn't going to play Rare Candy. There's no way. It'd be pretty stupid when you're only coming in to play Power as Espeon. So it's like I could retreat this Mence here to preserve it on the bench for the guaranteed one-shot. Whereas Metagross... Metagross is honestly probably less valuable at this point, given the way this board is set up. And I can always just retreat the Metagross out anyway. Yeah, we're going to attach the Magnemite as my energy for turn, pay that to retreat to the Metagross, and you've got 2 energy on with that actually, so it would do the bonus anyway. So that's 50 total. Take the knockout with Link Blast. Link Blast? Yeah, it's Link Blast. I will admit I don't always pay attention to the attack names. I see when repeat ones come up, right? Like when it's an attack that's been in the past, but I don't usually pay attention to what the actual names are. I just know what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Expert in runs.
Yes.
Oh man, this is just so bad. Still no scores. It's not even like I have a Stevens or something. I'm just sitting on. Like,
yeah, you wouldn't even be able to
drawn
play
them.
it even if you did. Yeah. Dang.
All right. Well, in the interest of not losing,
That is usually a good thing to have as an interest. Yes. You got a
metal.
4th one of these things.
I know I traded him one.
It's just like, are we playing all 4 in a deck that also has like at least 3 other evolution cards in the deck?
One to talk.
Hey, mine do things when they come into play, that's the whole purpose. Okay. Oh. Soulfire! Wow, it is 2 years of sub there, thank you very much.
Well, let's see. Oh, I actually need not Espeon because you're psychic.
Yeah, because I'm psychic type, so I actually just kill this thing even with the metal energy. Or I can,
Do you
I
mind
have
if I
game
get
on. I have game on board anyway because I have the pay retreat for Salamence here.
You mind if I get Flareon instead?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
It's equally poor, but
Yeah.
distance doesn't get marked by that. So we'll TM rock.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that's kind of cute.
Would have been much better if I could have.
Right.
Done other
So
stuff.
that's gonna do that which KOs this guy, you get a prize. That.
Oh my god, even that's not supported.
Right. Okay.
Alright, I assume you still have it though, right? Because you.
Well, I would, but I can't play.
Elements.
I can't play the card that gives me an on board because you devolved my Shelgon too.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I will just say right now, I have the rare candy in hand, but I can't play it because of Houndoom. So, it's not quite that straightforward. That said, I mean, I think this is still a pretty commanding spot to find myself in with it here, but it isn't quite as straightforward as it was. I will just evolve. That makes sense here. And I guess, yeah, you don't have any way of actually hitting me with the 50 next turn. So yeah, it's probably still fine, but it's just not It's not this exact turn that I can do it anymore because you've stunted me on that one. Yeah, because I can show it. I have it here, but I'm not allowed to play it, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good. Just thinking if it's worth attaching anywhere. Yeah, it's probably worth putting the Psychic down. At least I still have a fire on this, so I can just fire dance when I get back up to it if I want to anyway. I'm mostly just thinking whether it's worth attacking with the Metagross or if I... Is there any way? Double Rainbow, I suppose, would be a thing. Yeah, do I have... I've got the Psychic on that thing, so that means I've got Metals in the discard. Right, the 2 of them, 3 of them, because there was 1 there anyway. Okay, then... I think I'm going to accelerate, just abundance of caution with it here. I'm going to accelerate the Metal to the Metagross, discard that and the Scramble, because that'll never be able to be played now. Go in with this guy, because this takes less damage anyway, and we will Heat Blast for 20, because you've got a Metal on you. This takes like 50 less right now, actually, so it literally doesn't take anything from Return Burn, so... I've got 1 metal on it, it takes 10 less from its ability, which it is not a metal type, so it does not get stopped by the stadium, and yeah, it's resistant to fire, so...
Okay, so...
That was good though, I didn't expect that.
Okay, so we have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And attach to something. The idea being, I mean, what would I draw into? I don't think I can draw into anything that matters. Wow. Oh no. I was probably... I'm gonna hit the card I need, but it's
Oh
not
no.
actually. Oh wait. Yeah, no. Oh, that's worst.
Yeah, this is what I was worried about, just in case, because a lot of energy are in my discard right now, and I don't want to waste time with like Fire Dance and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind. I can't play Stevens anyway. So I will concede.
Dang. Oh my god,
do.
that explains a lot. My last one was also a supporter. Yeah, I had Salamence, because you put 1 back from that, and I drew 1 as my second last prize. Mentor didn't really do anything at that point. I think I could have gotten Jirachi, and that would be about it. Ruins I can't play because of Houndoom. Walk Point can't play because of Houndoom. Rare Candy I can't play because of Houndoom. However, I only have 12 total cards that get shut off by Houndoom in this deck. So even though I was like, yeah, I'm going to play into it, but so long as it doesn't come down like turn 2, so that I can't even like Rare Candy up something there, it's like I'm probably going to be fine, because it's going to take a lot of effort for this deck to take out even 1 Salamence, even with me putting damage counters on it itself. So I was like, yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this, I'm not going to lie.
Dang. Yeah, that was tough. I think I could win in that matchup.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's impossible, but it probably needs a much quicker Houndoom than that to stop me from using anything, because I did get a couple of turns of Porygon too as well, even if I forgot 1 of them. I still got a couple of turns of that as well, so it feels like it's one of those situations where, yeah, you just didn't quite get it fast enough. So, I don't know.
Yep. That's how it goes.
We've got time on the stuff here. It'll be a longer one, but we've got time. Do you want to play this, Sai, or do you want to play, I mean, you've already played against...
Played Matt.
Yeah, go for it then.
I'll move.
I do appreciate the mat choice, by the way. That was that was nice. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. What number is it anyway? 38. Back in the day.
Alright, ready to go?
Do you want me to mute
Yeah.
up on the Discord so that you guys can concentrate on the game whilst I just like talk a bit on stream?
I don't mind either way.
Yeah, it will probably do that then. Yeah, so we'll do that so we can actually just have the talk on it here. We can go side on now because you know, we're not actually playing with it. So this is the different deck to play here. Sai's actually playing Gardevoir. He was playing the Crobat earlier, which makes a lot of sense because Crobat is awesome and you want to play that as you can. But yeah, you can't do that on the first turn if you're going first, Sai. I know he can't hear me at this point because I've deafened up, but no, this is really cool though. I do like the idea of the Gardevoir deck. Shame there was no attach on the first turn here. The basic lightning. So Matt's deck is designed, as we saw just now, is designed around those Delta EVs that I made the thing of. He's skipping steps a little bit here, but if that's all he's going to do with his turn anyway, then it's fine. Yeah, so he's used the energy evolution with the lightning energy to get the Jolteon, then used the Delta Search attack to do 10 damage and get the whole on energy out of the deck, which is also the grass lightning one. So I don't think Sai is playing any EXs, but if he was, they would do 10 less damage to the Jolteon at this point. Despite no supporter, that's a pretty strong turn one. Like, you'd have been able to do that going first as well. That's one of the principles with this deck, I think, is it needs to get going quickly, but it can get going very quickly. Sai needs to draw a basic here, otherwise he's kind of screwed, because Matt just puts an energy down and does 50. And having played admin, you can't. I mean, he's got the meta, the Beldam on the bench, but you really don't want to be putting that thing in right now. So at the very least, there is something to go on here. So we're just using the collect attack. Yeah. So he's drawn his card, instantly going in. Houndour using Mary's request to draw 3 because he doesn't have a stage 2 in play. There's a fair few decks I would have loved to have played this in if I drew like any of them, because there's a fair few decks I have that don't play stage 2s, and yeah, draw 3 is just good. So the idea behind Sai's deck is that he plays the same Metagross that I played, the Deoxys one, to accelerate the energy for Gardevoir from the discard, and Gardevoir can move that energy wherever it needs to, which is really good, but also it fuels itself on the damage that Metagross does to it, to allow it to do sniping damage wherever it wants. It seems like it's going to be a fairly poor matchup into this deck though, because Matt just doesn't have to bench anything. Like, he benched quite a lot against me because of the triple Great Ball thing, but he really doesn't have to. And yeah, Return Spark is just 50 damage. You don't have to bounce an energy back to hand. If you do, it snipes 20, but he's not going to here. Preserve the energy attachments. I do like this. You kind of just, you want to keep the energy on board because this deck doesn't have acceleration. And I think that was where it was getting stuck against me, because I was constantly getting energy into play. Like, every single turn, I was just using my big attack, discard 1 energy, but I can accelerate that back and still manually attach as well. Yeah, this is the kind of thing you want to see at the start of the game. Hold on, Mentor. We did see this in like the couple of games I played. Discard something and then search for 3 basic Pokemon that have 100 or less HP. So this will get his board set up. Plays into Houndoom though. Like, if Houndoom comes down now, he's not going to be able to play items for pretty much the rest of the game, which is frustrating, but depending on the setup here, it may not matter. We'll have to see. So the basics he's gonna get. Yep, the Jirachi makes a lot of sense here. Jirachi doesn't die in one hit to Jolteon at the very least, so there is that. If he attaches to the... Yeah, that was in play last turn, so Curlier can come down. If he attaches to the Beldam, yep, gives it 0 retreat, he can retreat into Jirachi, and not die here, basically. So he can get his wishing star, something we didn't see in any of the games before. Well, no, we saw it in the game with Leo, right? Look at the top 5, pick one of the cards out of there to add to hand. The other ones go back on top of the deck, and Jirachi falls asleep. Cannot use it if Jirachi is affected by a special condition, so if it stays asleep for the 2 flips that you get going back into your turn, kinda screwed. See, it does wake up though, so no worries about that, which is good. Yep, instant Houndoom, so no more item cards on... Yep, no more item cards, no more abilities on these metal Pokemon as well. Metagross doesn't get affected, but Gardevoir does, so you're not going to be able to jump energy around the board at this point. Wherever it is, it's staying there. Because you are not able to bounce stadiums. Because stadiums, it's basically Houndoom stops anything that isn't a supporter card from being played. We were kind of uniquely good in that matchup, to be honest, because I didn't have very many cards that got affected by it, which honestly is not normally how that would play out. Energy Root is also really good. Jolteon doesn't have any abilities, so it gives it plus 20 HP, and it would shut off abilities that it has, but it doesn't have any, so it's an interesting one. Putting the Electrode on the active. I guess he wants that Dark Metal back in hand, but that is a curious choice. So we bounce the Hold on Energy, is going to do 50, not KO the Jirachi, but it does get to snipe 20 on the Beldum with the energy. Okay. So I can't play any search trainers and stuff now. Transceiver is probably the biggest one that he gets hit by, because he has 4 of the card. So that's probably the most difficult spot for him to be here. This is one of the reasons, the other reason is because I only have 3 of it, but this is one of the reasons why I have been such an advocate in my own decks of still playing enough supporters alongside the Hold on engine. Yep, Scramble on the Curliers, pretty good here. Admin hoping to draw into Gardevoir pretty much. Because at the very least, Black Magic will do not a lot of damage here, to be honest. 10 plus 20 for these two puts it at 50. Resistance makes it 20. They have figured it out, yes. You cannot play Hold on Transceiver with Houndoom over benching you here. I was about to correct, but did not have to. Yeah, I don't really know what you do with Sai here. This deck doesn't seem very well paired up, because Gardevoir relies on the opponent benching a decent number of cards and not resisting metal. I think Matt's entire gambit this round was to play something that resists metal, because everyone's going to want to play decks in the new set, and Jolteon resists all of them, and shut off items and abilities, pretty much. He wants to just lock the game down and go with the stuff here, which is a decent gambit, admittedly, but doesn't necessarily work in the face of what I bought, because my damage is just overwhelming if he doesn't lock me quick enough. Sai, on the other hand, it's a lot tougher, because his deck doesn't have the 100 damage threshold on stuff here. Oh, something's going on with it here. I guess that was supposed to be in his discard. Oh! Did you accidentally deal cards out of your discard or something? I didn't get one.
I dealt a card, but I guess if possible I only dealt it to blue or something.
Pepper. I give to you, so you put it in your deck.
Let's see.
I
Yeah, I
gave,
got the one.
yeah.
I got the one
Or-
from Sai, and I got the one from Pepper, I guess. And it looks like Cal didn't get one, and Leo
I
maybe
don't
didn't
have
get
one, no.
That's really weird. I don't understand why it would have felt to
How many
them
cards?
both, but
How
not to
many?
you.
How many were in the discard? Was it only the 2?
Oh, was that discard? That
Yeah,
was me.
because you played
Okay.
this. You played this request in the previous turn, so.
No, now my card is invisible.
Oh
What card
no!
is this?
This is Mary's request.
Okay, for me it shows as the Pokemon back on both sides.
Yeah.
Dang.
Same.
Alright, so here we go. Great Ball. One of those should be in here.
I'm going. I
There it
was
is.
gonna. Yeah, I was gonna create a clone of it, but yeah, that makes more sense. All right. Yeah. Okay. Proceed.
I think that's all I've played.
One thing you do need to remember with Tabletop Simulator is that it is very easy to misclick with stuff that way. If we just right click on this here, draw and deal are right next to each other here. If you go deal, and even search is like down in this bit normally as well. We click on this deck here, search is just there. So it is very easy to accidentally go ahead and like deal from a discard that you are trying to search or something. So it definitely isn't always the cleanest of situations for it, but it's fine. We're out here just chilling. Gonna discard that whilst I'm thinking on it. So Matt, if he wants to, could go for Delta Search here. I believe that's the name of the attack. Yeah, Delta Search to just do the 10 and knock out the Jirachi that way. Yeah, this thing is knocked out, Sai. And he could actually search. Yeah, he's going to. He gets a Grass Lightning Holon out of the deck here, so now he can bounce that instead with the Delta. What is this? Return Spark. Again, I don't necessarily remember the names of all the attacks all the time. I don't really see that much of a reason to. Yeah, he's just showing. Look at this. 2 Transceiver, Rare Candy. Would have been great, but I'm not allowed to play the cards. Yep. That is the thing with the Houndoom. The catch here, if he doesn't bench anything else, one more KO will actually allow for trainers to get, or items to get played again. So if he can just hold out like one more turn with this and not bench anything else, then Houndoom will not be live anymore. But we'll see if that's how this is going to go. We are going to see the Gardevoir. So Scramble Energy makes this thing live, and he does have Metang as well. So the Gardevoir will do Black Magic, which is resisted, but it will still do 20. Jolteon, on the other hand, has got 90 HP right now, which is not amazing to go against. Yeah, I think the reason that I was able to do well enough against this thing is because my damage output was just so high that you couldn't tank it consistently. If I was able to keep getting the discard thing. I wasn't able to Fire Dance, so it was a bit hard to maintain the energy requirements, but I was able to get Metagross in play before the item lock came in. Maybe a little bit lucky. This item lock came down much faster, and I would have had a hard time against that. But yeah, they're probably just discussing how much this does right now. It's like, yeah, there's 2 Pokemon on the bench, base damage of 10, it's resistant to metal, so it takes 30 less. So it's only 20 damage that's being dealt right now. That's the really difficult bit for Sai's situation. His damage output is dependent on his opponent. And his opponent doesn't want to bench cards because his entire game plan is to have fewer bench than the opponent so that you can lock him out of the game. That is what is happening right now, is Sai is just getting locked out of the game. And yeah, there's no reason for Matt to bench anything else. He'll want to get an evolution on this Eevee, he'll want to get another Jolteon out, but that is all he needs to do. This game is very heavily in favor of him right now. The only thing that could go wrong is if Sai manages to establish multiple Metagross, but I think if I remember rightly, his list has only got like 2. kind of the same as mine, but I think that's going to be very difficult to go against here. With only 2 Metagross possible, that's going to make things almost unwinnable, really. This isn't completely like one-sided as far as the general matchup, but this is the kind of matchup you would see in the tournament table and go, yeah, okay, I probably don't beat this unless I get lucky. And Matt has gotten significantly luckier in this game than Sai has, because he got his stuff out much faster. I forget exactly how many item cards, excuse me. I forget exactly how many item cards Sai has in his deck, or how many, yeah, like how many get affected by this. I think it's probably in the region of at least 15 though. Ah, right, so we do have a Jolteon in hand, but instead we're going to use the energy evolution and search the one from the deck instead. Not entirely sure if that matters. Not really sure which way round is best there. I kind of like the I mean, it gets one out of the deck, but then it also clogs your hand a little bit. Depends what the hand is looking like here, I suppose. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, probably the scariest thing that that Matt has got to watch out for is Psychic Rage will be able to snipe 50 onto the Houndoom here. And if you can hit a second Psychic Rage at some point during this game, that is going to be a significant issue. That is probably the only thing that he has to worry about, is getting hit twice by that. It's going to take a lot of prizes, it's going to give up a lot of power, but I think that is the main win con here, is snipe down that Houndoom. I don't believe there are very many in the deck. You can't play Rare Candy. Buddy, you can't play Rare Candy in this situation.
It's not being
He
played.
discarded it.
You're discarding it? Okay, right. Just making sure, because it's just like, yeah, when I see an item getting discarded like that way.
It's being discarded.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. Because he dropped it onto the field first, I thought he was actually playing it. I'll be honest. Just got it. Just one of those things. Yeah, so I think this is going to be the alternative game plan with it here. That is actually really cool. Discard the Scramble and go for the... this will do 70, which is enough to knock out the Jolteon. This leaves Matt without a good attacker this turn. So this is another alternative line, is just to hell with the Houndoom, just blitz the Jolteon down. Matt did leave it with 2 energy, so... pretty respectable. Maybe caught Matt unawares here, actually. Certainly caught me by surprise. It's a very, very good play. This is one of those, if you're actually in the game state at the time, you probably will realize this. And just go, yeah, this seems like a thing to do. But yeah, I was too busy thinking, yeah, you'll probably take on the Houndoom, right? But no, not in this situation. God of War does have a 2 energy retreat, so you would have to retreat the Scramble energy, but pretty solid. So I think what Matt would want to do now, if he can, he would probably want to build up that Jolteon on the bench, but this is where Psychic Rage could actually come in. Because at this point, yeah, you could Psychic Rage. Oh, Double Rainbow's pretty alright though. Oh, this is risky though. Going for the Paralysis Flip. Oh, gets it. Yep, Tight Jaw just paralyzes. That is a big problem. Without items to be able to retreat this thing, I don't think this guy is moving anywhere. There's no recovery in this this deck, so not for like Mr. Briny or anything. No way of getting that out of the active right now. And if there's nothing else, then a base. We know there's a hole on energy in hand, right? So Flamethrower could just get the knockout. I do like this. Get this thing prepared anyway, because it's going to have to do some heavy lifting here. The thing is, with this double rainbow being the attachment, double rainbow means that the Houndoom will have to discard. It'll probably have to discard that double rainbow to do Flamethrower, because I don't think Matt's deck plays any basic fire. And because it's 2 energy in 1 card, you can't use Electrode here in order to recover, to get the 3rd energy played, because you're moving the 2 energy back to hand. So if he wants this knockout, which I'm assuming he wants this knockout, he is going to have to use the double rainbow as collateral, which is not an amazing position to find yourself in. If Sai has like a way of getting another metal energy in here, he could probably... He's gonna do this instead. Yeah, okay. Not actually use the flamethrower this turn. Yeah, if Sai if like flamethrower was used and Sai had a way... Wow. And Sai had a way of being able to double metal the Gardevoir, that puts it in a very, very difficult spot. That's very frustrating though, when pretty much the only win con here is to go for like the paralysis flips, and either one of those flips failing kills the Houndoom. That's rather frustrating. But shake it off, I suppose. I don't think Sai has another Metang, so we'd have to hard draw the farmer at this point to get this back in play. I don't really see a way of Sai getting back into this game with that. It's ridiculously risky, but I mean, such is the way. Still, Matt will have to discard a valuable energy here in order to get this knockout, so maybe it's not entirely over. Yeah, he's actually just going to pay retreat and double rainbow this instead. So Return Spot does get the knockout, Energy Root is going to come in as well. And yeah, this gets awkward at this point. The other thing though, with that double rainbow, like Gardevoir survives. If Gardevoir can Psychic Rage, it can knock out the Houndoom. ATM Rock is potentially what is being considered with stuff here then, but it's Curlier evolved off the stuff that way. So that's not going to matter this turn. You're gonna have to do an extra bit of damage and then ATM Rock it later. At which point you might as well just knock it out wholesale, I think. Unless, I mean, ATM Rock does significantly stunt some of the other stuff here, so it isn't all bad. But it's not for this turn, that's for sure. Because this Metang has actually got 80 HP as the other bit with it here. So Gardevoir having a Metal on right now is interesting. I'm not sure. Maybe Sai doesn't have an energy in hand. That's the only reason I could see to go down this way. I feel like Matt's got this locked up if you don't just attack with Psychic Rage, because you need to get rid of that Houndoom. You need to be able to establish the board, and that's just not happening right now. Because you've got to be able to get back that Metagross, which I think the only way to do that is with the one Hold-On Farmer. And Hold-On Farmer, if you're going to find that, you're probably going to need the Hold-On Transceiver, so you're going to have to be able to play items again. Oh, we're considering a damage proc here. Yeah, that's fair. Feel like it's a little bit late for that, but I understand. I'm not going to fault for that. So I do see Peppers in the call at the moment as well, but we're we're deafened, so their conversation stuff isn't going to happen. He does hard draw the farmer. Okay, so this at least will allow the Metagross to go back into the deck, as well as the Metine. That's step 1. Now you have to be able to find the Metine in order to evolve up here. Also a couple of energy go as well, that could be relevant. I believe... Is there a metal in here, or is there another psychic? There is a metal in the discard, so if you can find a way into Metagross, but you've got to find your way in time, which is not easy when you keep benching stuff. There's the Eevee. No wake up. That could be relevant because right now the only way an attack is happening is with double rainbow energy, which isn't doing enough, so... So I think we're just going to see an evolution that way, and we're going to search an energy out of the deck. Espeon is also very annoying here. That'll let the Jolteon get healed every turn for 10. Wow, this is an obnoxious setup to go against right now. So we're just going to get 10 dealt to the Jirachi. It doesn't wake up. This is looking pretty bad. Yo, Nelson. Well, that's a Steven draw free, so we're seeing an item lock happen, item and ability sort of lock happen here, which is it's a little painful, I will admit, but we do have another energy for the Gardevoir, so at the very least, hopefully, with any luck here, we'll be able to hit with that at some point. But yeah, we've done our games for the day, so it's Psy versus Matt right now. Delta Eevees, the Jolteon in particular, resisting metal, is very good against the other Delta species cards of this format when they don't just do like 100 damage like my deck did today. So this is tough, I will admit. Matt did get 2 very lucky tight jaw flips. He did flip 2 coins with this thing and got both heads, so like double paralysis between 2 turns, which is the main reason this is still going actually, because that Houndoom would have died to Hennin otherwise, and it's a bit aggravating to see that, but you know, it is what it is. So here the Jolteon could Return Spark, gets the knockout on the Jirachi, and then can snipe 10 onto Gardevoir because of Metal Energy being on this thing. Takes 10 less from attacks with that, but that's probably still fine because it will still take 40 at that point. I think you probably snipe the Gardevoir here because it takes 40 when it's active from Return Spark, and that will be enough to knock it out. But we'll see. Putting stuff on the basics is pretty good too. What you really just want is to avoid this thing having... Oh, did he not do any bonus damage? Okay. Fair enough then. So we get an energy down there. There's not really much point in putting it on the Gardevoir because it can't do enough damage to Jolteon anyway. Jolteon's taking minus 40 right now because of resistance. You cannot play that either. Oh wait, no you can. There we go. We can actually play that now because you're even on stuff. Finally.
Hold on, transceiver.
Yay! Being able to play the game is so nice.
Oh fuck you! That's prized.
No!
Right.
Scientist is prized.
Oh.
That's rough, bud.
Well, that's one hell of a reaction to get in with. Yeah, if Scientist is prized, that means Sai can't draw up to what we have here. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So with Hold on Scientist, he would have been able to draw 5 here. But instead, we're going to have to go Researcher for the energy. So we can put energy down. This prevents Gardevoir from dying anytime soon. Which, you know, is fine. Can Rare Candy up to Metagross. That's also pretty good. Okay, so I suppose, my lack of thinking on it here, if Matt actually did snipe onto the Gardevoir, then he would have had Houndoom knocked out this turn. Because this would have put Gardevoir at 70 damage. So I suppose I'm the less smart one out of that. But we do have Metagross in play now, so this is really good. Kind of would have liked to maybe have seen the attachment to... No, we got the attachment to the Metagross there. Metagross is still potentially a problem here. Because it kind of stops Matt from just recklessly attaching or like keeping only 2 energy on the Jolteon. Because Metagross is a very significant power threat here. The lack of a good draw support here is really annoying now. So what are we doing with this one? Are we hitting... If we hit the Espeon, then it gets to heal itself, and will probably end up not working. If we hit the Houndoom, it doesn't quite do enough this turn, but you also don't die. So you can probably just kill it over the course of 2 turns, and then you just have to work out how you're dealing with the... Jolteon. I think I would like to see a Gardevoir energy jump here since we do have Magnetic Storm. That is actually the other thing, Magnetic Storm prevents the Jolteon from having resistance here. So you could just hit active and do 50 and hope, right? I really do want to see the Psychic Energy move to the bench because you actually have access to Gardevoir's energy jump at this point. So just to show, energy jump. Once during your turn before you attack, you may move an energy card attached to one of your Pokemon to another one. So if you move the Psychic to the Metagross, then that has it ready to attack here. But it looks like we're just hitting down the Houndoom. I don't hate this, because getting the Houndoom killed over a couple of turns is probably okay here. I almost feel like the Jolteon is the bigger threat at this point. Like, it's weird to say, but in a way, but then Jolteon also has like a lot of energy on. But I think Sai's plan here, the fact if he's still got 2 metal on kind of messes with the numbers though, because I think his plan may have been to knock out the Jolteon through the energy route with Psychic Rage, but he can't do that if he has 2 metals on. So maybe what would have been better is if he actually moved a metal to like the routes on the bench. Then he would have taken 40 from Return Spark here, and he would have been able to, of course he needs the Stadium in play for that to matter, but he would have been able to do something at that point. It's a rough setup, definitely rough, but there are still ways he goes through this. These guys are playing this one a bit more intelligently than I have been for the most part, so like, I'm just the armchair gamer at this point. I don't know. So yeah, so Matt's trying to work out what do we actually do with it here. You can Return Spark does 30 to the Gardevoir and then put 20 on the Metagross probably. If you snipe Metagross twice, then that puts it in the range of Psyshock, because you've got an Electrode in that hand, so you could just put Electrode onto the Espeon here if you so desire, I think. And that should put it in range for Psyshock. If I remember rightly, is that discarded actually? Or he probably searched for another one, right? Like Celeode for one? Yeah, there's one in the discard, but I think he's Celeode for one as well. So we just gotta figure out at this point. Matt does like to take a very, very long time with his turns. Like, he gets them done well, but he does like to take a long time with his turns. Not to be too, like, harsh to him or anything. Some of these turns do take a long time to work out, but I think he takes advantage of the fact that there's no slow play warnings in this right now. He plays in tournaments too. We should know. You should know that there's you can speed up a little bit here. Double Rainbow on the Houndoom is a fascinating choice here. Not sure if I agree with that, but I mean, I think maybe his theory is that he's going to lose that anyway, so maybe we're just trying to like return Spark twice here and score the knockout on the Gardevoir plus the Metagross. Yeah, there's a lot of talk obviously going on with this stuff here as well, but so far nothing, I don't think anything has been wrong. We're just reading the Metal Energy here. Oh right, because I guess they want to work out. It's like damage done to this Pokemon by attacks on the opponent's Pokemon. It doesn't have to be active when the damage is done. Yeah, so this is why I would have liked to have seen one of two things. I would have liked to have seen Energy Jump either way, because this thing is not using Black Magic anytime soon. But I would have liked to have seen the Metal Energy go. I would have liked to have first seen the Psychic, but the more I think about it, like a smarter play would probably be to move the Metal to one of these, most likely the Ralts, and then you take 40 instead of 50 from returns, from 40 instead of 30. So yeah, we're trying to manipulate the numbers here, I think is the way around. So this now is going to actually only do 20 damage with return Spark, because there's minus 10 on the thing on the Jolteon, and we're going to do 10 spread by returning one of these energy. 10 on the Metagross. I'm not really sure about this, to be honest. I feel like you're gonna knock out this Gardevoir anyway in 2 attacks, so I feel like you should probably just get either Espeon or Houndoom ready here. That 10 spread isn't gonna make enough of a difference, so I'm not really sure what the angle is with this one. 70 is enough to snipe either Benchmon anyway. The Houndoom, of course, has already taken damage. This is why it would have probably been better to have hit the Espeon the turn before, if you were going to hit either of the bench, which, you know, you should do. Even though the Espeon's going to start healing itself, it's probably better. We do have Magnetic Storm, so playing around the damage numbers is good. Energy Jump needs to be used this turn. Like, there is absolutely no reason why you would not Energy Jump here. I'm pretty sure. So we're gonna put the damage on here. That's pretty good, but we need 10 more. Which, again, if the Metal Energy had been transferred the previous turn, would have been capable. These sorts of like numbers games, like every 10 damage matters, right? These numbers games are very difficult to manage. I do not blame anyone for anything here. No, it's a bit more than that. Magnetic Storm is ignoring resistance here. Yeah, it's 70 because there's a Metal Energy on. So now we get to see Delta Heal do its thing. Yeah, why wasn't there an energy move though? I'm gonna have to ask him about that afterwards. Okay, so Houndoom is no longer gonna be a thing. We are seeing this. This is just gonna be straight Jolteon show probably at this point. I appreciate that. I understand the idea here. Metagross is going to be able to take the knockout no matter what you do here, really. Currently, you do not have anything that actually deals with that Metagross. So there still isn't, like... It's still such a weird spot. Yeah, now we're seeing double rainbow on the Houndoom. So Return Spark is doing exactly 20 right now. So it has to be that way. Yeah, we're gonna hit 20 on the Metagross, which is fine. Return one of those energy to the hand, good sir. Matt, you need to return one of those energy to the hand, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Because
he's
you-
working
Freaking
on
out
it.
loud here.
Right, just making sure, because I'm seeing everything else move.
Are you deaf mute?
I am
Or
deaf
just,
mute when I'm... Yeah, because I'm
okay.
mostly doing this, like, you know, just talking almost as if they do on the normal stream stuff. So I'm not actually listening to the game stuff with it here, because I don't,
That
you know...
makes sense.
Yeah, because every time you guys would talk like that, it would stop me from being able to speak, so, you know.
Do you want a game, Carl, or?
I'm maybe after this is done, because I think at this point, with how long this one's been in, I kind of want to see this to conclusion before anything, because this will wrap up everything
Metal.
else.
Go nuts. Take price card. Okay.
Right, so yeah, this is where the potential issue. Oh my god, he just put his entire discard on that Metagross. This is where the potential issue is going to start coming in now, because he didn't move any of the energy before. Now a damage counter is being placed on the Metagross here, which means that Houndoom's Flamethrower is actually going to knock this Metagross out. If he had energy jumped the Psychic on the previous turn, he would not have to accelerate to the Metagross here, and he would have survived on 10 because of Double Rainbow. So I think Sai has just sort of forgotten that thing exists, and it's a little unfortunate. Because I don't see what he can do from here. There's no way he can attach 2 energy next turn. None of his attacks do 20 damage for 1 energy. Yeah.
Meta.
Too much shit prized.
Okay, I realize that. I have to ask though, Sai, did you just forget that Energy Jump is an ability that exists?
I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to interrupt.
There were 2 turns where you put Magnetic Storm down in play, and both turns Energy Jump would have helped to shift stuff around. Because... Oh, gone.
I was out of almost everything, and I think including Curly is at this point.
Right, which is obviously a big problem, but there was...
There was one, and there was no way I was getting to it.
I don't know. I mean, was he really starved for energy though? I don't think there was a turn he missed an attack because of energy, except for like early on before.
I
stuff
was
set
starved
up.
of cards because of my item-based engine.
Yeah.
My heart sank when I saw those 2 flips in a row. That was so dumb.
Yeah, no, your paralysis fucked everything.
Yeah, there was no way you were losing that game if you had one of those attacks going through, I'm pretty sure.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you had 2 energy on Houndoom. So you get one shot by the Metagross. And from there it's
That's
just like, yeah, your board was so poorly established that if you give him items again at that point, nothing you can do. I don't care that you've got resistance at that point, because I'm sure there's a way through it there if you give him the chance to play his item
I can
cards.
brute force resistance if I invite him cards. Like, it is a whole-on engine.
It's just with your board state being the way it was at that time, you literally had like only the Jolteon that didn't even have like energy to attack either, I don't think.
Okay.
And it was just that and the Houndoom. And if you flip tails on either of those hits, the Houndoom immediately dies, and there's no way you're recovering that at that point. So
Gotcha.
I feel like if either of those failed, then yeah, you get one shot on the Houndoom, and you're in a massive uphill climb trying to get anything back there.
Yeah, okay, right.
There's the deck list for you to have a look over.
Yeah, so we can see the... Oh, somebody's stealing my stuff again. We can see the obvious pain point, right? Is the 4 transceiver, 4 rare candy. There's only the 2 Metagross. There's a decent number of the basic stuff here. Like I've gone down the free candy and my similar numbers thing, but there's a decent number of cards to play with it. But the real kicker is just that if you can't transceive it, then it's much harder to keep your engine established at that point. And also, your resistance matters a lot more in this matchup than it does in mine, because this one, your whole goal this time round, Matt, is to not play Pokemon and resist the decks of this round with Jolteon. And this thing relies on the opponent having Pokemon down in order to actually do damage, which you just don't do. So it's a difficult matchup at the best of times because of that. But
Gardevoir can overcome it, at least.
yeah, in theory, there are. I mean, Jolteon doesn't do the most amount of damage, especially when you keep lowering it with DRE. But
And I keep stacking health on mine.
yeah, so it's like it is possible, but it's a lot more difficult. Whereas here, even though I couldn't get the one shot because you kept a Metal Energy on, it's like this is just overwhelming in terms of how much damage it could do. So I don't rely on you, I rely on my own board to do the damage. I think that was the difference between our games. That, and obviously you had a much slower start, but even then.
I had a god-awful start there.
Yeah, you did. And my start was not like outrageous.
It wasn't
good,
like
but
instant.
It was what I needed. Yeah.
And then
But
there's my deck, which is, okay, I want a nice big board and to play tools all the time. Oh.
But I did prize 2 Salamence against you, Matt, so you know, it wasn't all good for me.
This should be the other deck, by the way, Matt.
Oh.
Oh, what? Frick happened? Oh, there's a deck.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
and
whole
now
deck
there's
got in there.
and now there's a card missing. There we go. Yeah, this deck is really cool as well.
It's this
You're-
deck that's just... There's no way it faces up to Jolteon.
We were talking before you showed up about veering your Azumarill if you had a option to play that.
I don't think we've even talked about it as an actual thing yet, though.
Yeah.
But
Have you
yeah.
seen that list, Sai?
What's the list?
It's Azumarill Crobat. It's 4 versus Seeker, 4 Briny, and it loops Froth, Evo Shock Paralysis on Evolution.
I'm not sure if I have that Azumarill. Hang on.
There's one in a theme deck. And probably only
No,
two
there
right
is not. It was
Yeah,
in the Team Rocket set. There is not one of those in a theme deck. Pretty
Rocket?
sure.
Okay.
Posted the list, a link to the list in Discord.
Let's just do this live then. My Rocket draft.
So, yeah, I was honestly thinking as soon as
Yeah,
you got
it's-
those Houndooms,
it's-
I was just like, I
It's,
don't know.
it's in the James deck.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh. Wait, do I still have that available? Let me have a look. Oh, I do. Alright. I probably just forgot about this then, but,
This is probably gonna lag a bit. Sorry.
well, it's okay. I'm trying to get the Fiend deck in as well, so...
My CPU will take it. I'm not sure if everyone else's will, but
Mine should be fine. Now will it let me search?
Ah. Click that down.
But I don't know. I mean, what you have here is probably pretty good too. I don't think you need Azumarill.
It
I
was
think
I need to look at it before I can decide, really.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, fair enough. There is one in there. Weird. I suppose we just ignored it because
No, there
honestly
is
nobody
zero
wants
Azumarill in here.
nobody wants to play against this card, let's be honest.
So, yeah.
I was looking at the other deck, feed your Marowaks.
Yeah, that's true. The Marowak
I
did.
think we all
do
did
that.
that.
Which, to be fair, the Marowak was still played.
I took this deck though, this theme.
I can't imagine why. Actually, you wanted to Dragonite more than anything, let's be honest.
Yeah, the Dragonite's a good reason to take this deck.
It was that and the Rocket's Falls because I had pulled like one or something.
Mm-hmm. Which I had like 7 of those at the time, and it was just a case of, yeah, I can trade them, but then
So
you're
yeah,
like, yeah, it's not really
Azumarill
a
can't
point.
happen here.
That's all good. I think
trade for it. But also, it's kind of gross, so you could just not.
I think Azumarill.
I
Wait,
could say the
doesn't?
same about your Houndoom, and you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Matt doesn't play anything that isn't gross, right? So when there's a
mean-
chance to.
I can't talk. I'm looking to get into Meta Knight, and I'm like one Metagross away. And I do have an offer for that thing, Matt. I do
Yeah,
have
yeah.
an idea of what I can offer for that.
Oh, for my Metagross?
Uh-huh.
What?
I've already done next week's draft, so I have Arcanine EX.
A. Sweet.
Yeah, I am, of course, kidding. Only saying it in jest. It's just like, yeah, it seems like every time there is a lock deck in play, you know, Vileplume was there, Buck was there, you know, this now.
He
It's
doesn't
like,
have Sableye.
We dodged
Yes.
Bloom EX as well. That's a good dodge.
We dodge Sableye. Only Leo has those. In significant numbers.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll trade for his playset. Or those that already rotated, didn't it?
No, the Deoxys Sableye is the one that's been referred to. It lets you see the opponent's hand with it if it's in the active, and then for a Dark Energy, it stops them playing support this next turn.
That plus the
Okay.
Houndoom is a fun combination.
The issue
I-
with that is you don't. There's no win con with
Yeah.
that unless. I don't know. Surely there's something, but
The win
Maybe
con
it
is
just
the
lets you set
opponent
up a big
scoops in
board.
frustration.
ah,
To be fair,
Yeah.
that was almost a tempting option there, but
yeah. I was shocked you didn't scoop way sooner. Like you were having a bad game.
yeah, but I wasn't like horrendously losing the entire game. Like I was giving as good as I
Yeah.
got for the most part.
I feel like with some number manipulations near the end there, with remembering Energy Jump was a thing and shifting some of the metal off of the Gardevoir so that you were like 10 away from dying or something, you probably could have actually still claimed that one, to be honest. It wasn't entirely over, just couldn't see the lines. It's a hard situation to find yourself in when you've been that frustrated through the rest of the game. I totally understand that.
Didn't help. This was prized.
Yeah, I guess that was the pain of only having one of it. I have two in my deck
I could
down
put
here.
two in here
but-
probably.
Yeah, I think functionally I subbed out like one of the admins for it. I think, but it's a hard call, right? Because you obviously
Matt
want.
always had a huge hand.
It's like you obviously want the admin, but that was the complete opposite for me in these games though. Like Leo had like a 2-3 card hand the entire time. Matt's hand wasn't too much better for half of it, but I was already fairly well established at that stage, so it didn't really matter too much. Yeah,
I
and
feel
then
like if I
there's-
also got this thing established, it would have done numbers.
Wait, I've just noticed here. You're playing a 3-4 Paragon 2 line in here?
Yeah.
Why?
Basic swap, and I need 2/2 to avoid prizing. I don't generally want two of these duck in play, or even two of these duck, because I need the attackers down, like the various types. So it ends up working out.
And if one of them goes down, it's nice to have a backup.
And I have a Retriever as well, just in case.
Retriever doesn't count, let's be honest.
I mean, I'm
If
playing
you-
a 4/7 line.
That's still not as many as I had in my one. Actually, let me
Yeah.
go see.
TV players can't complain about overloading.
Hey. Well, I mean, at least in my case, it's because I know that they all do really good stuff when they come into play, right? Let me just go quickly get the other decks that I left in here, because I did have a couple, obviously, I was going between
I
otherwise.
also have a couple of other decks I had picked up.
Yeah, surprise, both of them included Eevee here. Well, you may be surprised to see that they are not the same Eevee. So let's just move this one out of the way. Yeah, so let's see what we.
Dark T-Tar list and my Ludicargo list.
Yeah,
It's funny. I almost played this Dark Guitar.
I mean, it's not one I built again yet, but it is always one I've been on the consideration point for, just because there's so many things you can do with it, right? But It just hasn't been one that I've been as interested in general compared to the other stuff, because there's just too many decks to play at this point. I legitimately have about 8 or 9 like different ideas I could build with and do, you know, very well with here.
This is
So
a very
it's-
strong point in the format.
Yeah, so it's a little bit tough, but what I was looking at, this is clearly the obvious one, the EVs, but I do not think I have enough experience with this yet. Plus the stadiums are terrible until next set.
This thing's gonna be madness.
Next set gives me the stadiums I actually want to play. Right now, there are legitimately no good targets for me to play because all of the stadiums hurt me or I don't have them. Right? So I literally have to play my 2 copies of Pokemon Park in a championship arena because I have fuck all else I can use.
I know that pain because I'm on two desert ruins, one space center, one championship arena.
Yeah, Space Center was in here as well, but I cut it for something. I think it was for the Hold-On Farmer that I cut it for in the end, because I needed recovery, because every time like a couple of these get KO'd and then your whole game plan is just like dead in the water, right? Because you need some EVs out for stuff here. This would have been hurt a lot more by the Houndoom in theory, but it can very well play with just like 2 guys in play, so it isn't necessarily killed.
And you can drag it in with the Umbreon.
Not if Frontier's up as well, though.
Frontier as well.
Yeah, which is a bit of an issue. But the other one might surprise you a little bit here, because yes, it uses EVs, but it ain't the EVs that's up here. I did build and was actually fairly confident with this deck, Marowak stuff, this week as well. Nearly played that, but I decided I wanted to play the Salamence instead.
This Delta Marowak's a beast.
Yeah, I was scared of that.
Yeah, I was
Surprised you only playing one.
Well, I only have one, but also this guy is generally better. So this guy is good in the same way that this guy is good. It's only good against the decks of this format, this exact set. If somebody's playing something that isn't the Delta species card, this doesn't do a lot. This does the same thing basically, but generally better. Yes, you can do more spread, potentially, you can spread to more things, but you still spread 30 for the same energy cost on this one, and this will more consistently hit 90 than this guy. Plus it can hit decent numbers in between as well, it doesn't have to be 50 or bust, right? You can hit 70 with this thing or something instead. So, yeah, Fire Red Leaf Green Marowak is actually a little bit more consistent in general, I think, but obviously this one is a ridiculous game ender against the right type of deck, so you still want to play it, but yeah, I think it's actually better to focus a bit more on the Vengeance, because there's so many ways you can get Pokemon in the discard with the stuff now, so like it's not even that hard to get this going for like upwards of 70 damage on maybe even the 3rd turn of the game with how many hold-on cards there are. So it's
Also,
are
this
you
thing
not-
can ignore resistance.
I'm shocked you're not playing Double Rainbow.
Double Rainbow was in here, and then it's tough because Double Rainbow cuts the damage of all the sniping stuff down. I feel like one of the benefits of these guys is that they do snipe damage beforehand, so you just like set everything up to get one shot. Double Rainbow really hurts with that. I wanted to hold on energies in here to ignore resistance because Dragonite is a big problem. Otherwise, like there's not a lot to really do against it. And Scramble Energy is that one energy panic button instead. It's between Scramble and Deary, and I feel like Scramble was the better choice here, because if I'm spending more of my early turns sniping with linear attack and maybe Energy Bone, the next one comes in and just one energy blitzes, right? So it felt to me like it was better. If I had, like, you know, 63 slots in the deck, I would probably play Deary as the next energy, but like I needed a 3rd basic fighting so I could actually use the hold-on energy to ignore resistance, because I only have one Magnetic Storm. I still want the Metal Energy in here because it obviously works very well with the EVs, as you well know yourself this week. And then, yeah, it was just a case of try and get the other bits. I also really, really hate Double Rainbow on Jolteon. I think that is completely wrong, to be honest. because the whole point of Jolteon is to be able to do like 70 damage for the energy cost. You're cutting that by 20 by putting Deary on it, and that just makes it more or less horrific, to be honest. So
If I got 4 metal on that Gardevoir, you wouldn't have been able to touch it.
Yeah. The issue with this, and I mean, it's just not a good deck in general, so like I wouldn't try to defend it. But the issue is you are going to hit in a wall and attachments without an acceleration engine,
and that's why I didn't
especially
play
when
this.
your attack bounces it.
Yep, that's why I didn't play this compared to the Salamence thing, because I've got 2 angles of acceleration in that deck. I am normally very happy to spend my first Salamence doing Fire Dance and accelerating stuff around the board. Can't do that if you resist me, mind you, but you know, that's why I kind of just had to go in and just hit you with Delta Blast every turn, because Fire Dance does no damage to Jolteon. But yeah, I am very happy to spend like 1 or 2 of these like early attacks just using Fire Dance to accelerate all the stuff out the discard, and eventually just overwhelm with I've got like 3 ready to go attackers at all times, and they're doing so much damage that you can't really defend against them very well. That was the idea, but the fact of it's got 2 acceleration angles is really good. That is the same sort of thing that makes this a bit tricky to play, the Evolution EX deck, because same sort of idea, but these guys last a bit longer and do more damage base, right? So these have perks otherwise. Of course, they do give up 2 prizes as well, which is a bit of a pain, but they do so much more otherwise that this kind of overcomes that problem.
Yeah, I think like 2 attachments is fine. It's just when you hit 3 that it's like, now it's not only can I not set up for next turn, I'm planning out 2 turns in advance where I'm potentially just not even attacking or something.
Yep. And that is
Where is it?
one of the reasons why I have not bought this deck this week, is mostly because I don't quite feel confident enough in actually playing it yet. Not to discredit anything else that's been played so far, but from my own look at this, especially with only 2 Pidgeots, so I can't go down that line as easily, this deck is probably the most complicated thing we have actually had access to in this series so far. And I don't even think it is too close. Like, you could sometimes argue like some of the Feraligatr stuff could be a bit screwy because of making sure Trash Exchange was live, etc. But no, I think the amount of theorying you've got to do with a lot of the stuff here, you've got to have the right one of these in play for the stuff, you know, get the right evolution for the right turn. If you're going to surprise Time Machine, you know, you've got to plan that out ahead for it too. But where's your attachments going with it, you know? There is so much to consider with this deck. And obviously reacting to what the opponent does with it too. Like, of course, that is something you've got to do in every game, but it matters a lot more when you are using such crazy powers, but with the drawback of them all being EXs as well. It's actually a lot harder than it looks to play. So I'm not quite confident with it yet.
Yeah, I feel like Gator was actually kind of like brain dead.
Yeah, a little bit.
Find it hard. Like, there's sequencing, but that's really all it is, and like it's very easy once you like if you just have fundamental like Pokemon or even just card game playing skills, like it'll be pretty obvious exactly what you do every single turn.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I think you do have a lot of decision points as far as like what you're evolving into, what you're evolving into. Are you switching it? Are you leaving it in the deck? Are you attaching? Where are you attaching?
Yep.
Etc. Etc.
Like,
Gator just slap 3 water on double gust. GG.
Yeah, you know, that's fair. Yeah, I was trying to think of one that we've had that's been somewhat complicated, and honestly, I can't think of anything that's been even remotely close. Because everything that's been complicated has ended up not getting through testing because we've not been able to make it consistent enough, right? So, you know,
it's not a good thing.
So I don't know. Yeah,
You
like I
haven't
said,
lived until you've seen Surprise Time Machine EVEXs.
Yeah, I think we played what was it, 3 or 4 games we ended up playing. The first one was a wash because I tried to play Super Scoop Up more than Surprise Time Machine. That was a mistake. I still think Scoop Up is decent in this deck, but I quickly found out it's not at the cost of Time Machine. You've got to find somewhere else if you want to play it. The idea is really solid, but this is just so much more consistent, right?
Prize denial.
Yeah.
Stripping your opponent's hand, pie. It's all good.
But like I learned so many crazy plays as we were going through with it. I've done everything from Surprise Time Machine to deliberately KO one of these to give up 1 prize to turn off Scramble Energy. There's one thing with it. I Surprise Time Machine and then Rare Candied into a different evolution in the same turn, and it still works because it's still evolving from hand. It just like, that's just the tip of it. There's way too many tricks that you can do with this thing, and this is before considering the stadium cards in the next set, which will massively change the stuff because they actually do something. You know, what do you do if I like Giant Stump plus Vaporeon in the same turn, right? Like, take out some of your bench stuff. Yeah, you get the choice of what goes, but like take out some of your key bench stuff, put you on a 4-card hand, right? Full Flame with the Flareon potentially is something as well that is also to be considered. Even Power Tree, I could very easily see me just take out the multi-energies and just use the Power Tree instead, and that can get me energy back from the discard whenever I want, right? So all of them in the next set are amazing, and it just adds so much more complexity to this. Your Houndoom isn't even safe in this one either, because I could evolve into Espeon, devolve the Houndoom on the bench, and I can play items that turn. So it has game plans even against what you've brought today, which is, again, not a matchup I have seen, but something that I would need a bit more experience with this to actually go, yeah, I could do that, yeah.
Yep.
So it's cool, and we will see it. It's just, yeah, like I've said already, I could probably play this list until it rotates, and then like find a way of subbing these things for 07 until that rotates all of these out, and I probably still wouldn't know half of the ins and outs of this deck. It is just crazy. Makes you wish that you were actually playing at the time, to be honest, because this would have probably been one of my favorite decks to play, just because it makes you think so much on what you're doing.
The surprise factor as well would be massive back in the day.
Still disagree with Jimmy's list only playing like 11 supporters though. That was ridiculous. Like, come on. 11 supporters, half of them weren't even draw. If your Pidgeot gets frontiered, then you are dead in the water.
Somehow made it work.
Meanwhile, I'm in a universe where I seriously considered running the dual armor slow pro.
Did you pull that, or is it just...
No, I didn't. That's one of the reasons I didn't.
Right, so you would have had to have hitched mine. Alright.
Yeah, because basically I wanted to hit Psychic this round because of bats and the Yox, the Yox's Metagross and just random Psychic weak stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of Psychic.
But my target was only 50 for that because everything was 100 or less, like 90 on the Crobat, 100 for Metal. So a 50 for Psychic was acceptable, and this does cover a second type.
Yes, it does.
Which would have been really nice to cover when the stupid dog shows up.
Yeah, no, I could see it. It's... I mean, I've disliked most of the dual armor guys because I just don't think they do enough damage on the whole. But yeah, I mean,
Damage
it's
is
respectable.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's
Dumb
respectable.
question. If you have the bad Slowbro where if you flip 3 tails, you lose the game and you have Glimwood Tangle up, do you lose the game first or can you Glimwood Tangle out of that?
You can tangle out of that.
That would be really funny to see.
Yeah, it's not like drawing Exodia in the middle of a resolution of a card or something. You do get to determine whether or not you want to flip again after all the coins have been flipped.
Figured I'd just make sure in that.
Yeah.
I doubt it's going to see play, but it could be funny.
You have potential reason to keep the Starmie's Water Arrow could help break some city stall, some city stalemate. Where someone just where I don't want to take the first prize and someone's sitting behind your Archie. It's actually
Nobody would
like-
ever do that. Don't know what you're talking about.
So I'm actually running a basic water in the deck which only has one water type. And doesn't even take water.
Yeah, in a deck that can't search the energy though, you've got to use your you got to use this guy for it, which
Yeah,
you may
not
not
ideal.
you may not get to do next round. We'll see.
The basics are mostly there just to be it first attaches and to feed the lantern anyway. So as long as they're not lightning, they're fine.
Yeah.
Good.
Nah. Lots of potential cool stuff with it. There's lots of interesting decks coming out with this round. I'm not surprised, to be honest. One heck of a diverse pool to look at with it here. Yeah, I don't know. It's very cool. Very, very cool to see. I don't think the
better
next
set
set.
than Emerald.
Yeah, I don't think the next set is going to be quite that exciting because it's smaller and whatnot, and it relies on the gimmick of the set being react energy. But there's still some good cards coming out of that one, so we'll
I
see.
think
if-
it'll matter, but not in a fun way. I think there'll be a lot of no fun allowed Soul Rock Lunatones.
Maybe, but
Giant Stump Sauce is worrying me a bit, but that's only because I spent last week building a big ass Dench deck, which
yeah, I mean, if you could have a 70 card bench, you would probably have a 70 card bench. So of course it's going to worry you.
Turn it to VMAX time.
Oh god, Eternuses would do like 2100 damage with that bench. That would be insane.
No, it's impossible to have a 70 card bench because your deck can only contain 60 cards.
We're generating tokens over here. It's okay.
Wait a minute.
Scapegoat, scapegoat, scapegoat.
Ojamas.
That works too. Right, anyway, I'm going to add the marker on the stream side here. Thank you guys for playing with this. Managed to get to play Leo as well. Didn't get to keep his deck anywhere, I don't think. Unless he's got
He
it
put
over
his
here.
deck out.
He's got his deck over here, okay. Was this the one he ended up... Yeah, this
Well,
is what he
playing
ended up
me.
playing. Yeah. Yeah, because he didn't initially have the Holon guys in, but I told him about those afterwards and went, yeah.
I had to tell her that you have to bounce an energy to play them.
I mean, understandable. It's one of those things of likely hasn't read the 5,000 words of small point
Yeah,
text
that's
on there. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
if there is one thing I could criticize from this era, it is just how many cards have got stipulations on them. I do kind of appreciate it in a way because it is very good for balance, something the modern game could do a lot more often, hint hint. But some of these have got like pendulum monster levels of text. Let's be real, they are so small, so many words on the cards that you could probably have simplified at least in some way.
And doubles text is not helpful either.
Yeah,
Yes.
sometimes that does make things a bit more confusing, like the Salamancing you had before, right, where it was just which one of these, is it like a gust ability, or is it a you know, like warp point ability, right? Because it reads very weirdly.
And it just adds more text as well, like your opponent chooses a defending Pokemon to switch everywhere. Stuff like that, it just adds more text.
Which is important to delineate, but yeah, nowadays there would have been probably another like proofread on that and going, we should word it this way to make it clearer, you know?
But when are we getting our Omni Negate gain 1000 attack point monster?
Well, one of those things might slightly happen. Not quite entirely, but negate does actually happen at one point. We'll leave it at that. Matt might know the card
I'm trying
I'm
to remember
referring
all the
to,
effects
but
on that damn thing.
Got a few sets to go.
Red Eyes Black Dragoon.
Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, but yeah, decent, same thing, yeah. Right, anyway, marker going down.